A gentle breeze traces my face as I make my way through the familiar path to my college campus. I lift my shoulders to readjust my bag, carrying the weight of the manga volumes. Carrying a bag with books to a classroom on campus, it's almost like I'm back a couple of months to when classes are active. I'm not used to seeing the campus so peaceful. Usually I would see people swarming this area to get to the next class or back home. I can appreciate this calm, quiet ambiance. I pause at the sight of a vending machine off to the side of the walkway. I guess I could get a coffee for her. Maybe that'll bring some life to her eyes. Oh dear. I arrive at the door to the room that Kagurazaka specified. I didn't hear anything inside. Not that I expected to hear anything. Kagurazaka is probably just staring out the window, thinking to herself. I slid the door open and scanned the contents of the room. In the center of the room is the familiar figure of Kagurazaka. She is sitting at a desk and has her hand rested on her arms. Her eyes are closed and her body slowly moves at the rhythm of her breaths. She's sleeping? Guess I'm a bit early, but I wouldn't expect her to just fall asleep in a classroom before she's about to meet someone. She also doesn't seem like the type of person to want anyone to catch her sleeping. That's an oddly specific thing. I close the door behind me and make my way over to Kagurazaka, debating on whether I should wake her up. The outline of her face makes itself clear as I walk along the side of the classroom. There was a calm innocence that's a stark contrast to her usual deadpan, cynical, but playful demeanor. There was also a faint sadness to it, an almost wistful longing. As I walk across the classroom through the desk, reflections of light start to reveal themselves near Kagurazaka's eyes. I notice the tear stains that create a trail from each of her eyes. Is she crying? I freeze in place, unable to fully process the scene. Feelings of sorrow and uncertainty wash over me as I collect my thoughts. I'm unable to take any action other than to watch the faint glimmer of light from the teardrops at the corner of her eyes. Seeing her like this, she looks so vulnerable and fragile. I mean, yeah, she's crying and sleeping. That's very vulnerable. Like she could just collapse any moment. She's already collapsed. Maybe that's why I'm afraid to reach for her, because she could give way at the slightest touch. Is she dreaming about something? Or did something happen recently? What can I do for her? I really am pathetic. Oh dear. Kagurazaka is in front of me, potentially going through some harsh circumstance, and here I am, having such selfish thoughts. He is exhausting. I felt like I should do something for her, but my immediate motivation wasn't because of her. It was for my own self-satisfaction of feeling like I had worth by being someone useful. Okay, dude. It's so disgusting, these conceited self-indulgence thoughts. As if in response to my thoughts, her arms slowly start shifting to indicate that she's woken up. Her eyes clench for a brief moment and then slowly open. She slowly rises as she brings the back of her hand to her eyes, immediately noticing moisture of the tears as she makes contact. Her calm sadness quickly transforms into panic as she turns her head and immediately notices my presence. It's hard to tell exactly what's behind her expression. Is it desperation or maybe even fear? She quickly turns her head and wipes her face on her sleeves. Then she turns her head back to me. If you apologize right now, then it's not too late for forgiveness. Her remark takes me off guard because of the sudden shift in demeanor. Sorry? Normally I wouldn't have taken a jab back, but I'm still sensitive to the scene I had just witnessed. Are you worried about me? Well, you're freaking crying in your sleep. I mean, even if it's not worry, general concern for a human being crying in public. I mean, don't be. That was nothing. I was just having an emotional dream. I dreamt that I lost the gacha for my favorite character, and it was her last banner. It was terrible. I can't bring myself to smile at her joke. Maybe it's better if I did. Maybe it's better if I just pretend that she was telling the truth and it was really nothing significant. But I can't bring myself to do that. Hey, I try to find the right words to say, but what can I even say? Nothing I can say will be short of conceited and self-righteous. His train of thought is exhausting. After all, am I even doing this for her? I just can't. Please don't worry about me. I really am fine. So please, don't give me that face. What about your own expression? All I'm doing is making her feel worse. I really don't know what to do. They're a bit much. But I don't want to see her plead like this. So then stop! Sorry. I look away to hide my expression, not knowing if that's even preferable to looking at her. Trying to think of a way to clear the awkwardness, I remember that I brought coffee for her on the way. I opened my bag and handed her the can of coffee. Here, I brought this since I figured you were tired, because you always look tired and old and haggard. Women love hearing that. I'm always tired, but maybe tired is just comparative. If that's my default state of being, then am I really tired? Exactly. Yes, by all reasonable interpretations, I would still consider you to be tired. Kagurazaka just gave me a slight smile. She grabs the can and pulls the tab to crack open the lid. She silently starts sipping, looking off to the side of the classroom. Oh yeah, here's the postcard you wanted. She hands me the signed postcard I've been incessantly searching for online for the past few months. The penmanship is a bit messy and indicated that this postcard was hand-signed. It's still in mint condition and the plastic wrap remaining undisturbed. Wait, the condition is flawless. How do you even have this? I told you, I'm a big fan. Is every big fan of Monosuke critical of her? Maybe I should do that as well. Well, maybe she'd prefer it that way. I have a hard time believing that. I open my bag to carefully place the postcard in my bag and position that it would not possibly get damaged. I pull out the manga volumes that I have stored in my bag and hand the small stack to her. Here, Heroes of the Sky, most recent volumes. Oh yeah, thanks. Oh yeah, thanks. It seems like we're mostly back to talking like normal. But there's still a lingering awkwardness in the air. It's probably best not to think about it. Kagurazaka starts flipping through the pages of the earliest volume given to her and tracks her eyes across the pages. I walk over to the window and look out at the campus. Beautiful green canopy adorns the sides of the modern buildings. There's a calm beauty to the grounds when students aren't crowding every path. I can hear Kagurazaka's occasional giving a or interesting in between the sounds of pages being flipped. Say, who's your favorite character? I turn my head to her, still scanning through the pages of a volume in her hands. Well, if I had to say, it would be the antagonist, Argent. I really respect how he's able to stay true to his convictions through all of his hardships. He even has the power to make them a reality and isn't afraid to take the necessary steps towards. Are you talking about Thanos? He doesn't rely on anyone else and pushes forward with his own strength. I feel like there's so much romanticization about not needing anyone else and relying on your own strength, which is very problematic to me. Especially for someone like him who, can't rely on his own strength to look up to someone who does, ultimately making this dichotomy of, if you need help, that you're not good enough. But I digress again. You know he's going to lose in the end, right? Such is the cruelty of fate. He tries his best not to hurt the innocent, but his methods are misguided. That's usually the type of character that loses, but has some sort of redemption and turns around to be an ally against some greater evil. Did you just spoil the ending for me? The story isn't even over yet, and I'm just talking about theoreticals. She lets go of the book and lets out a big laugh. What about you? Who's your favorite? Princess Claudia. She was forced to suddenly bear the weight of her entire kingdom at a young age. She was able to take such a responsibility and not collapse under the weight of the expectations of hundreds of thousands of people. Although she says she wasn't ready for it, she managed to persevere and steer the kingdom in the right direction. How strong do you have to be able to do that? You have a point. She was even younger than us when she had the task of leading her kingdom. I think the amazing part was that she was able to do so without being sure of herself. She doubted every decision she made, but managed to stay strong. If it was someone else who was 100% sure of their decisions, then I don't think they would experience as much turmoil. Well, you never know. I'm sure confident people would have their own issues they would face. Not that I would know. You seem pretty confident about VTubers. I don't face any uncertainty there. They are a fact of life. There's plenty of uncertainty. VTubers as a concept is fairly new, and we have no idea what their future holds. And the trajectory of being a content creator is never predictable. Also, you never know who might be a part of the next big drama or controversy. You see it all the time. Someone has art copyright complications, someone else accidentally reveals a chat log or gets a message that indicates something controversial. Another shows one part of their real life self and everyone goes crazy. I guess in that sense that's true. VTubers seem to face a lot of the same problems that other public figures do, with some of their own unique problems. In a way, the anonymity I'm pretty sure I'm not saying that right, that protects them can also work against them. I assume you mean how people want to know about their personal lives because it's almost like it's a forbidden knowledge? Yeah, VTubers try their best to hide their personal life, but that just makes people want to find out more. Honestly, I can't say I haven't had those feelings come to me naturally before. Nah, see, I don't want... I know this might be controversial, speaking of controversies, but not really. I mean, I personally just like being immersed in the VTuber. I don't really want to know about their personal lives. Not in a don't tell me anything about yourself, but like I don't need to see like their real IRL face or know where they grew up or anything like that. Like I'm not really that curious about anything that they don't want to share, if that makes sense. Like it's not forbidden fruit that I wish to know. I'm just like, I'm happy knowing whatever you want to put out there, basically. So I never had the urge to like find out the secret identity or anything like that of one of my favorite VTubers. I'm just happy knowing their VTuber persona, and that's it. I know it's wrong to try to pursue that knowledge, but it's still just such a natural feeling. If you watch a VTuber who has all these great qualities, you just want to know who they actually are. Nope, I have no desire to know who they actually are. Especially if we're talking about like their character as a persona. It's like any actor or actress or like movie, like, you know, if they are playing a role, then like knowing the actress behind the role isn't necessarily gonna further my appreciation or like, you know, how much I like the character. Who they actually are, eh? You like to ask that a lot, don't you? Oh yeah, I guess that's sort of what we talked about when we first met. Yeah, exactly. Whether that's the VTuber's real self or not. Regardless of real or not, I don't think we would necessarily be any better off by knowing what a VTuber is like outside of streaming. Exactly. All it would really likely end up being is satiating our curiosity. And it would be at the expense of the VTuber's privacy and feelings. Maybe that's not the side of themselves they want to show the public. And even if they act pretty much the same in person, I don't think anyone would want their personal information linked. I mean, no. They would have to live in constant fear and anxiety that they might become the source of unwanted attention. I would imagine VTubers already have some anxiety about that just from having their voices identified in public. Yeah, unless you're using like a voice changer. Yeah, I would imagine a lot of VTubers talk on stream like they normally would. Maybe. I mean, I've heard of VTubers who actually use a voice changer, but say they don't use a voice changer. This is really weird to me, but I mean, I guess. But you'd be surprised at how many of them are good at changing their voice and the way they speak. That's true, a lot of them has voice acting skills. Mana's voice acting especially is nice. Oh, you think so? You don't? I think it's okay. Harsh as ever. Of course, if compared to a professional, it won't be as good, but for a typical person, it's amazing. It just shows how much hard work she's put into it. I find it really weird that you call yourself a big fan, but you're also so critical of her. Do you secretly hate her or something? Of course not. She's brought me opportunities to connect to others in a way that brings me so much joy despite how terrible the world can be. The identity of Mana is who I wish to be. Someone who is always beautiful, happy, and kind that can overcome any hardship while also bringing joy to others. No, this is weird. I don't think she suddenly say something positive about Mana. I didn't think she'd suddenly say something positive about Mana. Someone who's beautiful, happy, and kind, huh? I mean, I'm thinking she is Mana, and which the case, if she is Mana, then she is someone who's beautiful, happy, and kind when she is Mana. And she does make people happy when she is Mana. So it's kind of weird that she's like, I want to be that person when you are that person. And then when people tell you that you are that person, you shut them down for it. But I'd be really surprised if she's not Mana. Watch this visual novel be like, ha, joke's on you. She's actually not Mana. She's just some other VTuber. I'd be like, oh. Egg on my face. Pretty sure she's referring to her inner beauty. Guess I don't know her too well to say, but I don't think she's necessarily ugly inside. Are you saying because you think she's pretty? Or you're like, she's clearly so ugly that she can't be talking about outside beauty. She must be talking about inside. Not that she's lacking in physical beauty either, minus her eyes. He is stuck on her tired eyes. He is like literally the worst nightmare of women. Like, at least for me, I'm very self-conscious about when I look tired or have bags under my eyes, and I hate it when people point out the obvious. It's like, yeah, I know I looked in the mirror this morning. I know I look tired, and I also feel tired and am tired. So thank you. Thank you for reinforcing the fact that I already know that I look bad and tired, bitch. Damn. I hate it. And I feel like every chance he gets, he's like, her ugly ass, tired ass eyes. And I feel personally attacked. I feel attacked because I lived through that so much. It's like, I'm sorry, if I could get more sleep, I would, bitch. Damn. Not that she's lacking, minus her eyes. I guess Kagurazaka isn't exactly a happy person, but it's hard to tell because most of the time she seems to joke around a lot, and if she is sad, then she doesn't say it. I mean, she exudes sadness. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, sad people joke all the time to hide their sadness, but they're still sad, and you can still, whatever. And kind, I mean, she messes with me a lot and has some strong opinions, but I can tell she has a good heart. I don't think you're exactly lacking in those values. Oh, so you think I'm beautiful? Alright, I regret saying anything. Obviously, you weren't talking just about physical beauty. Sorry. Thank you, really, for saying so. But I can't look at myself that way. That's all I'll say. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, at the end of the day, if you think that about yourself and it doesn't matter what other people say, then that's just gonna be your reality. And she accepts that. She's like, yeah, no. But at the same time, it's like, well, if you're not gonna listen to other people's opinions, then I don't know what to tell you. She lifts back up the manga and starts reading where she left off. If I tried to push the conversation any further, then it might seem like she's trying to gain pity from me. What? But she dropped the conversation. Why is you pushing the conversation forward gonna make it seem like she's trying to get pity? Whatever. But what you said about Mana is really surprising to hear. I honestly feel a similar way. She embodies so many values that I wish I had. The person behind her must be an amazing person. Please don't say that. She doesn't say anything. She continues to keep her eyes focused on the manga, not slowing her pace is probably what that said. My eyes wander around the room for a minute until she speaks up again. By the way, I don't think I ever asked, why Mana in particular? You're asking why she's my Oshi? She's my favorite. Well, aside from all the points I've made previously, I mean, it's pretty clear to me. What else could he say? I was in a pretty poor headspace for some time not too long ago. I found Mana's stream and it got me out of a rough place. It was a place where I felt like I belonged. I also took inspiration in the values that she embodies. Oh, she doesn't say anymore. She probably doesn't want to pry any further. It's okay. I think I'm in a better place now. So you don't have to worry. I'm glad to hear that. Because remember, your whole thing is, I don't care about you enough to actually worry. Because that's how y'all want to put it. Her smile wasn't like the usual sad smile she gives. Yeah, sad smiles. You dead ass said she doesn't seem sad. But every time you talk about her, you talk about her dead, tired eyes and her sad smiles. Like, what is this disassociation right now? This one had a genuine, tender happiness behind it. Thanks. She returns to the manga and I turn back around to gaze outside while I think to myself. Also, like, I'd be like, oh, I didn't realize you were planning on reading the whole time. Like, did I bring an activity to do? Like, just gonna stare out the window while she reads for hours? I guess exactly that. After some time, she closes the book in her hand and places it on top of the desk in front of her. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to finish these in one sitting. Of course not! You could take them home if you like. I thought when he said you could borrow it, I thought he did mean take home. Did he literally mean just, I'll stand here while you read for hours and I didn't even bring a Switch with me or something to play? Like, I'd be so anxious if someone was just like, yeah, I'll just sit here and do nothing while you do that. I'd be like, no, why didn't you bring something? Nah, that's okay. I can borrow them again at a later time. Bitch, I carried all these heavy-ass books here. You better take them home. I'm not going to be dragging them every time we meet. Nah. I don't think I'll have the time again to read it in the near future anyway. I see. She hands me back the manga books and I carefully place them in my bag so as to not damage the postcard. Oh yeah, I still feel like I owe you something for the postcard. Come on, don't sweat it. If anything, you're doing me a favor by taking it from me. I don't see how that makes any sense. Fine, let me think of something just so you can have some peace of mind. Let's see, should I have you dance like a monkey in front of me? Should I have you run around campus in your underwear? Should I ask for the secret to being happy? Hey, I think I just heard something concerning at the end of that joke. One of those is definitely something I can't fulfill. So you're saying you'll do the first two? Wait, you actually might. You've just lost your dignity. You've long lost your dignity. Can't lose something I never had. Oh, I think I have something. I mean, I feel like he's saying just as concerning red flaggy stuff and she's just like ignores. Oh, I think I have something. Come with me into the city tomorrow. I need your help buying something. What do you need to buy? Graphics cards. I want 2 of them, but they only let each person buy 1. If he doesn't put it together at this point, I'm gonna be super mad. Wait, isn't that what Mana experienced? Yes. I mean, I guess there are a lot of people who want graphics cards. That's also true. But how many of them would want to buy 2? Also, why does she want to? I thought computers could only take 1 graphics card at a time. I guess it's a wild coincidence. It's not. But isn't going to the city with her kind of like a date? Maybe that's weird to think considering I've already been meeting with her one-on-one in person for the past few days. Also, I feel like this is more of a date than saying like, I need you to be there just to achieve a goal. Like saying like, I need you to be there to get me an extra coffee does not seem like a date. It seems like an errand that she's asking for your help with. That's like the least datey thing to me. But maybe I'm the weird one. I don't know. Sure, but why do you need two? Because I have two PCs. Okay, why do you have two PCs? I don't ask why you have two ears. Okay, yeah, I figured you would give a response like that. I think I'll call it here for now. I'll message you the details later tonight. Also, you could have just bought one and then waited the month if you didn't think you were going to find another person. Alright, sounds good. I think I'll stay here for a bit longer, actually. You can head out first. Oh, sure. As I arrive in front of the door to exit the classroom. Or you could have just borrowed the singular next manga and just been like, I'll return it to you. I'm overthinking it. I look back at her to see her staring out the window, deep in thought. It doesn't seem like she's looking at the view of the campus, but rather looking at something further than what I can see. It's almost like she's in her own world. I slide open the door and step outside the classroom, wondering if it would ever even matter if I stayed in that classroom with her. I turned to the door and placed my hand on the handle to slide it closed. I managed to catch a glimpse of her before the door shuts. Her expression had shifted from her usual calm, pensive state. What I saw was an expression that was unmistakably that of a somber, wistful longing. VTuber Connect. Con Mana. Why did she do that? It's your shining star in the night sky, Mana Orion. I mean, sure, why not, I guess. It's just kind of cringe. Rejoice, Mana fans, for I am here. As you can see from the stream title, it'll just be chatting stream today. I just feel like talking about whatever comes to mind. It's just one of those days, you know? Chatting streams aren't particularly rare, but Mana sure does them less than the others. I wonder what she's going to talk about. How long do I plan on streaming tonight? I don't know. Do you want me gone? Is that what you're asking? Maybe I should just end the stream right now because you asked that. Mods, ban that guy. I don't think that's a rude question. If you want to take it as, I don't want to be here to listen to you talk, versus like, oh, I wonder how long you feel like chatting for. It will probably be a short stream though. I have some stuff I have to get ready for tomorrow. See? Exactly. Also, a reminder that there won't be any stream tomorrow if you haven't checked out my schedule. If you haven't seen my schedule, then that probably means you aren't following me on social media. Why aren't you following me on social media? You better follow me right now if you aren't. Okay, girl, calm down. Anyway, there will be one karaoke stream in 2 days, and then I'll be taking a break until the anniversary stream. What did we do to be blessed with a karaoke stream? I'm so excited. Did you have to do anything? What am I planning for the anniversary? I mean, granted. Never mind. Let's say that's a secret. It's more fun if it's a surprise. She could be planning something special, but most people should expect her to do standard anniversary stuff. Watch my debut stream? Maybe, though I think it would die from cringe. I was such an innocent soul when I debuted. So many things have happened since then. It's almost been a year, huh? I really do want to thank everyone for all the support up until now and into the future as well. It really does mean the world to me. Does it? I guess you gotta get a bit melancholic thinking back on her year thus far. Heh, maybe I should be saving this talk for my anniversary stream. Alright, no more cheesiness. You guys are going to start crying at this rate. See, you guys are already spanning mana cry in chat. Come on, we should all be smiling. See? Smile. Haha, happy. Yeah, you're very much convincing with that deadpan happy impression. I know the world can be a harsh place. I hope this can be a place where you can find some light if your world is filled with darkness. But don't actually tell me that, because then I'll shoot you down. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for your kind words, Mana. I've been stuck in a rut recently. Do you have any advice on how I can become as positive and strong as you? Fake it. I don't know. Have you tried just being happy? Thanks, I'm cured. Why didn't I think of that? Glad I could help out, guys. Here you have it. The secret to happiness revealed on Mana's stream. I don't want to create any depressing vibes, so here's the only thing I'll say. I mean... okay. I don't really have an answer to that question, but I really do hope everyone here finds their version of true happiness. And not the kind where you're just avoiding sadness. I feel like she's saying, I hope this is a space where you can find happiness, light, and I want to support people. But then when they're like, got any advice? She's like, no. And it's like, okay. A true happiness where you can give genuine smiles instead of finding it in yourself to smile despite whatever bad times you're going through. People are like, oh, she's so strong. But I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like she's giving off strong vibes. It just seems like she's giving off like, just ignore the bad things, which isn't strong. I have faith that a happiness like that exists somewhere out there. Finding ways to run away from sadness, huh? Does that mean that she hasn't found that happiness herself? You guys are making me all cheesy. That was not cheesy. That was just... I guess it was. Let's talk about other things, like my date with Haruka-chan yesterday. Mana's stream went on for about another hour with discussions about the appreciation of glasses on characters, plenty of teasing, and super chat readings throughout. I think that should be it for today. Thanks everyone for all the subs, donation, likes, and for coming in and hanging out in general. My next stream will be in 2 days, with me taking a break afterwards. My anniversary stream is in exactly a week from now. Only a week to try and find my answer, huh? Answer to what? Thanks again, everybody, for both being here with me today and for all the support you've given me thus far. You've let this selfish wish of mine grow into something greater than I could have ever imagined. It's almost like a dream for me, one that I wish I could never end. Alright, that's enough of that. Bye-bye. Oyasu, Mana. Mana's been off lately. Sometimes she just becomes wistful all of a sudden and says something obscure. I don't think I can really know for sure what she's referring to. I guess there isn't really any point in worrying about it though. I'm sure even Mana has her own problems she's dealing with in her personal life. Yeah, because she's a human-ass being. I'm interrupted by the vibration of my phone against my desk. But yeah, I guess we haven't seen the Mana that he's been talking about, because all I've been seeing is like Makoto bleeding through Mana, and I'm just like, is this the ever happy, optimistic person you're saying you love? Because she doesn't really seem that way to me. It's a message from Kagurazaka. Kagurazaka. Are you okay with meeting at the station at noon? I think that's the earliest I can get out of bed. Yeah, that's fine with me. You sure do wake up pretty late though. Is that late? I don't think that's late. And I usually wake up earlier than that. That's just the time I get up from bed. I can kind of get that. I usually browse the internet on my phone for a bit after waking up. I see. My situation's a bit different. But anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay then, see you tomorrow. It still feels weird to me to be going into the city with her tomorrow when just a couple of days ago I hardly interacting with anyone aside from VTubers. Joke's on you! You're still interacting with the VTuber. Honestly, I can't say it's been that bad these past few days. She's definitely weird, but she asked some interesting questions, and I don't feel like I have to put up a front with her. But it's far from ideal. I just don't know how to describe it, but it feels like she is out of reach. Like there's too much I don't know about her. I mean, yeah, you just met. And I feel like when it comes to concern, we have to dance around each other as to not feel like the other is being burdened. Yeah, isn't that exhausting? Don't you just want to be yourself? Even if that means sometimes burdening people, like just find people that are okay with that. Also, how do I turn off these notifications? Okay. I don't really know what the solution to that is. Isn't it so conceited to think that I want to be able to show my concern and help her, but I don't want to burden her with my own struggles? It's not conceited, but it is kind of dumb. Like, in my opinion. Is the answer to just not show each other any concern? No, it's to just show concern and be honest and genuine and be okay with the fact that it's okay to, quote, burden people who care about you, even though I wouldn't use that word, but whatever. That doesn't sit well with me at all. It shouldn't. Let's just go to sleep. Sure. VTuber Connect. I arrive at the station about 30 minutes prior to our agreed upon time. There's a light bustle of people around the station, presumably making way to their lunchtime arrangements. I look around for any sight of a girl who looks like she could fall over from weariness in any time. I'm gonna slap this man. Nope, seems like she is still in bed, or she might be on her way. I'll probably just wait a bit and call her once it's almost time. As soon as I turn around to find a bench to sit at, I met with her giving me a playful smile. Oh, what's this? You're here early. Guess you were really excited to see me. Are you just going to ignore the fact that you're here at the same time? In fact, if you were standing behind me looking at me, you probably got here before I did. That's not because of you, it's because of my precious graphics cards. Oh? Wait, I'm less important than those graphics cards? Next thing you'll ask me if I'm a girl. The next thing you'll ask me is if I'm a girl or if I cry myself to sleep every night. Come on, don't be asking the obvious. I think I just heard something concerning with those layers of irony. Nothing concerning here. I assure you that I'm a girl. Now come on, let's take a seat already. We'll still have time before our train arrives. Yeah, she seems like a very happy person, joking about how she cries to sleep every night. Yeah, no, she doesn't seem sad at all. She walks over to a nearby bench and takes a seat. I follow suit, but I'm unsure whether it's appropriate for me to take a seat too close next to her. I flawlessly calculate the distance to create between her and myself so as not to create an awkward situation and then take a seat. Like a weirdo overthinking everything. Why'd you sit so far away? Boy, I must be bad at math or just overthinking everything. But this could also be one of her plays. I already know your tricks. You're always going to say something as soon as I try to get closer to you. Am I that predictable? Yes, I might as well be reading your mind at this point. What am I thinking about then? You're thinking about how I'm going to respond to your question about what you're thinking about. No way, you actually can read my mind. We'll both give a good laugh at ourselves. So didn't you say that noon was the earliest you can make it out of bed? Well, I found a little bit of extra motivation to drag myself out of bed this morning. Oh, and what was that motivation? If I stayed in bed any longer, I would have kept thinking about certain things that I'd rather not think about, like a normal, happy person would say. I'm curious as to what things she was thinking about, but I probably shouldn't pry. I get that. Sometimes your bed can be your best friend when you want to lay down and think about things, but sometimes I'll keep thinking about things I don't want to. Either way, you seem to be about as tired as you usually look. That's the thing. No matter how much time I spend in bed, I can never shake off my tiredness. It's called depression! It's called depression. Go see a therapist. Woo, woo, woo. Even on the rare occasions that I get enough sleep, I just end up feeling more tired the next day. Depression. Is that the work that you do keeps you up? Depression. Sort of depression. Directly, that's part of it. Indirectly, it also plays a big part. I'll just leave it at that. Depression. Tired is my default state at this point, regardless of what I try. Might as well live with it. Depression. Well, hopefully today can be a sort of break for you. Yeah, I hope so too. Oh, we should probably get going now. The train's arriving soon. Okay, let's go. We head into the station and make our way past the ticket gates. After scanning our passes, we arrive at the departure zone and board the train to the city. There aren't too many people in our section of the train. I look around to see a couple of people seated, looking at their phones. It's been a while since I went into the city. I think the last time was a couple of months ago with my sister. You seem pretty close to your sister. I'd say so. She's been looking out for me for about as long as I can remember, even though I can't really do much for her in return. I'm sure she's not looking for anything in return when she shows her kindness. No, you're definitely right about that. I just wish I would be able to do the same for her. I sort of get that, even though I don't have any siblings. I mean, have you actually asked her if there's something you could do for her, or do you only talk to her when she calls you? Like, do you hit up your sister like, hey sis, how you doing? Want to talk about anything? Like, do you make yourself available to your sister, or do you only talk to her when she calls you? Just saying. Oh? Do you like it that way, or do you wish you could have siblings? The media depiction of sibling relationships, well, maybe not the weird ones depicted in most anime, but some of them depicted as, it's kind of hard to describe. Being able to be in a relationship where it's so natural to support and understand each other is something I'm jealous of. There's a unique dynamic to it that I can't see depicted anywhere else. It really is natural and special, but I wouldn't necessarily say that my sister and I fully understand each other. Of course, we grew up together, so there are some things we just pick up on, but there are a lot of things we disagree on and don't actually understand about each other because you're two different human beings. It's not just a magical, we're siblings so we automatically understand everything about each other. Like, you're still two different human beings. Like, she doesn't really touch anything anime related, and I don't really understand her desire to interact so much in person. But I think we're okay with that. We still love each other anyway. I see. I'm glad that you have such a fulfilling relationship. Makes me want to steal your sister for myself. You can try, but knowing her, I'm pretty sure she would smother you with her affection as well. Oh, sounds nice. I'd like to meet her someday. Well, she is coming over in a few days, I believe. Maybe there will be an opportunity then. Sure. Okay, that didn't seem datey to you? Like, oh, meet my sister. But saying, oh, going to the city to buy something on an errand? That's such a date. Meeting my sibling? That's not at all like a date or a significant thing. I mean, maybe it's not in Japan, I guess. I don't know. She and I continue to chat while taking glimpses at the passing backdrop of the coast. The train eventually makes its stop at the city. We head off the train and walk out the station. Tall buildings and bustling streets surround us. And you know your sister's gonna be like, wait, you've been hanging out with the girl almost every single day since the moment you met? What? So what's the plan for today? You know the plan for today. What plan? You know, what we're going to do besides getting your graphic card. What do you mean besides my graphics card? That's what we came here to do, homie. I didn't really think too much about that. Don't look at me like that. Fine, how about this? We'll grab what I need, then we can get something to eat, because I'm hungry. Then we'll figure it out from there. Well, that sounds better than no plan at all. I mean, we had a plan to pick up the cards. Why do we have to do something else? If you wanted to do something else, you could have came up with something and told me you wanted to do something else. But I just came here for my card. I don't know why you acting like I was supposed to come up with a whole to-do. Like, what if I have plans after this, huh? What? Assuming we're gonna be hanging out all day. This boy. Lead the way. Just saying, I'd be like, go home. See, I told you that we should have gone in separately. Come on, what were the chances that the employee would recognize me? Well, how many other people have such tired eyes? I swear to God, I'm going to punch him in the nuts. That's a good point. And also, like, I thought you didn't buy the card. The same thing happened with Mana, no? Seems hard to believe that they would have just gone to an electric store at a similar time and got it rejected for the same reason. I mean, no point in thinking about it. There's no way that this isn't a coincidence. We each head to the counter to order our food. Yep, but I thought she didn't buy the first one. So what, because she came there before, they're not letting her buy any at all? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, what is happening right now? After chatting a bit, we receive our orders and head to the table in the corner of the restaurant. I watch as she haphazardly tosses multiple fries into her mouth. She chews without any consideration for keeping up an appearance. I laugh to myself at the confirmation that she eats exactly as I would expect her to. You laughing at me? You looking for a fight? I just find it amusing how different you are from the friends I had in high school. Friends? This might come as a shock to you, but I had actual real-life people as my friends in high school. She pretends to be shocked as she widens her eyes and opens her mouth before quickly realizing she still has food in her mouth. That's a little... I feel like that's a little rude. Like, just because, like, he's not hanging out with anyone now, she thinks he's never had friends before? Like, that's a bit rude. She quickly turns her head, embarrassed, and finishes her song. Yeah, you be embarrassed, you little rude asshole. I feel like if you know someone, you can make a joke like that, but it just seems like a bit rude to be like, wow, someone actually wanted to be your friend. Like, I don't know, that just seems really rude to me. I started laughing at the sudden series of events. That's the side of you I haven't seen before, the clumsy side. Shut up. That's my yearly singular mistake that I make. Thank you. Come again next year. Sure. But as I was saying, yeah, I used to have a few friends back in high school. It's not like I was super popular or anything, but I had some people that I hung out with often. But they weren't in relationships that I was exactly comfortable with. But they weren't relationships that I was exactly comfortable with. She just looks at me quietly as she chews her food. I'm assuming that means she wants me to keep going. I feel like everybody was trying to keep up appearances and trying to appeal to each other for clout reasons. I would always try to get validation for my own worth by being around people that I saw were popular. So you were the problem. You were the one trying to get clout and validation from popular people, not necessarily them, and you were projecting that onto everyone else? Is that what you're saying? Eventually, I just got tired of everything. Got tired of being fake and hanging out with people for fake reasons? I just wanted to enjoy the things I'm passionate about without fear of being judged and being able to talk to people I actually felt comfortable being around. That was my mindset after graduating and going to university. I decided not to go any further. It's already obvious without me spelling it out. I wasn't able to find any of those relationships with real people in my first year of University. She quietly looks at me while she sips her drink. Speaking of which, I haven't really eaten much of my food. I start unwrapping my food as she lowers her drink. I sort of get that. That kind of relationship can be exhausting and make you genuinely unhappy. I don't typically seek out relationships. I prefer having a few meaningful relationships that I can take comfort in. Even though I haven't been the best to them, I still cherish what friends I've made. Honestly, I still cherish them as well. Kind of. A few of them I do. Not all of it was bad. I think just interacting with people allowed me to form a connection with them, regardless of what ulterior motives there were. That you admitted to having! I won't say that there wasn't at least a little bit of sincerity in those relationships. Well, that's good. Do you still keep in contact with them? Not really. At first we would say we would keep in touch even throughout university, but we just ended up drifting apart, as expected. Is there anything stopping you from contacting them again? Well, there's the low-hanging fruit of I don't really want to bother them, and I'm sure they're going through their own life. There's also the inevitability that we will continue to drift apart just because we need a reason to interact now, or one of us has to make that initial step of reaching out, which could just as easily be you. In high school, I would just naturally interact with people because school would bring us to the same location to work towards a similar goal. Now, if we wanted to interact, we would have to go out of our way almost to initiate that conversation. Yeah, it's called friendship, like you do it. But the biggest reason is something else. Say, have you ever felt like nobody understands you? Do you already talk to it? Okay, I can't. It's fine. I have. I feel like literally everyone has. It's not a unique way to feel. But whatever, I could be wrong. It's hard to completely explain though. Agreed, it's a mix of a lot of things. People might not go through the same struggles as I do. Yes. Some might have different interests. Yes. Some might think completely different even if they did have similar interests. Yes. Some might not understand anything I'm saying. Some might constantly misinterpret me. Some might not be able to relate to any of my problems. I've always throughout my life felt that nobody understands me. She just looks at me while she sips her drink. She puts her drink down, not diverting her eyes as she does so. I won't be conceited and say I understand you as a person that well, but I can at least understand what you have just said. I honestly feel the same way at times. Isn't that funny, understanding the feeling of not being understood? Yeah, because most people feel that way. Like, I have yet to meet a person who hasn't at some point in their life felt that the people around them didn't understand them. Like, is it just me? Or is this just like plot? Is this like typical anime plot and I need to stop like overthinking it or picking it apart? Or maybe they're just young. I feel like a lot of this is like young people speak. Like, yeah, they are in university, so they are super young people. I feel like as you get older, you hear everything from everyone, and it's not surprising or that unique. Like, you just talk to people, and you realize you are literally not the only one. Like, you only feel that way when you don't have exposure to people, which is fair. I mean, I've been around the world. I've met a lot of different people. I've had a lot of time and resources and experiences to like make me realize that it's not just me. I start laughing, almost choking on my drink. Good, choke bitch. That is so funny. Honestly, when I talk to you, it doesn't feel completely detached. Not sure if I can say I'm understood, but it feels different. Oh, how flattering. I must be so amazing. Can you not? Don't get ahead of yourself. Isn't it conceited to want to be understood even though I don't feel like I really understand many other people? Where is he getting this conceited shit? Like every 5 seconds, conceited. I'm like, are you? I don't know, man. Conceited, for sure, but I think it's natural for us to feel that way. Well then, we all want to think we're important and that our views matter. Yeah. I finished the last of my burger and collected my trash onto the tray. So, where to next? What about the aquarium? I haven't been there since I was a kid. That's sort of out of nowhere, but neither have I. Well, it doesn't seem like we have any better ideas. Let's go. I also feel like I'd be kind of like, well, again, we don't have to force ourselves to do something just to kill time. Like, how do they not feel like a burden being like, oh, you have to continue to hang out with me, so we have to figure out something to do. She and I made our way through the aquarium's walkway, taking in the scenery of lush sea life and aquamarine water. We remain quiet, appreciating the quiet beauty of these lives that are detached from ours. We watch as the fish warily swim by, staying close to the ground. That fish looks a bit tired. Kind of reminds me of you. I literally will stab this man. Oh yeah? That over there reminds me of you. I glance over at the direction of where she is pointing, only to be met with the sight of a rock. That's just a rock. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna take that as a compliment. Don't tell me otherwise. She smiles as she slows her pace to take a closer look at the scene around her. This is nice. There's a beauty here that I didn't appreciate when I came here as a kid, because that makes sense. There's an entirely different world beyond this glass. Every fish here is living their own lives. Okay, he's thinking way too much of this. Doing their best, even if it just might be eating and swimming around without a care in the world. Sounds kind of nice, actually. She stops, continuing to observe the fish swimming around us. An entirely different world beyond this glass. That means we can only see the reality that they want to show us. I get that this is a metaphor for VTubing, but it's so hammed up right now. These fish are not thinking about you. Might never come to understand their happiness or their struggles. Struggles beyond the carefree life that they presented to us. Y'all need to calm down. They might not even want to be seen as carefree or happy. Maybe that's just the identity we're pushing onto them. Girl, if you want to be depressed on stream, then be depressed on stream. Like, she's starting to get so annoying. If you want to be a depressed emo VTuber, then be a depressed emo VTuber. If that's really what you want to be in your heart, then just graduate as Mana, start off as a new person, and just be whoever the hell you want to be. She gives a sad smile as she watches the fish swim by. How would we come to understand them if that's true and they're going so far out of reach? Wait, how would we come to understand them if that's true and they're so far out of reach? Who knows? Maybe it's better if we didn't try to understand them. Also, is it her only right eye twitching? I don't see the left eye moving. I just see the right eye randomly twitching here and there. They might not want their vulnerabilities to be shown to others. They'll just bitch and moan about wanting it to be shown to others. Maybe all the others who look up to them might be horrified that the one that they've been following is just as lost and weak as they are. Surely they're not happy like that. They are fish! They are fish! I know they're not actually talking about fish. I know, viewer. I'm just like, can y'all just have a serious, can y'all just be real for like 5 seconds with each other? I can't with all this circuitous conversation. I am like 3.5 hours in. I need them to just be real right now. They want what they would want at least one person to understand them, right? What if they don't have anyone to turn to for that because they keep talking about how they don't want to turn to someone even though they want to turn to someone? What if they do this whole circuitous dance with the one person they could probably lean on but refuse to do so? I just stand there as she gives me a sad smile. I don't have an answer to her. It's not as simple as just say, go to someone you trust. Some people might not have that someone in their lives. And even if they did, there's no guarantee that the person will ever come to understand their problem. So it's not even worth trying then, I guess? Is that it? She turns and continues down the walkway. I follow behind her, once again observing the lives swimming around me that are far out of reach. The sun is starting to go down by the time we exit the aquarium. The orange sky makes for a beautiful backdrop to the still, energetic city. She is silent as we walk. She seems to be thinking to herself again. Like a depressed person. We should probably head back to the station now. It's starting to get late. She perks up and turns her head towards me. Oh, sure. She is sitting next to me looking out the window. As always, she has this look to her that she's always had when she's thinking about something. What are you thinking about? What happened to being able to read my mind? Oh yeah, okay, you're thinking about life. Being pretty vague, aren't we? Okay, I give up. What if I said I was thinking about you? Well, that depends. Are you thinking positive or negative thoughts about me? Positive and negative are all relative. Yeah, but there's still an answer to that question. Okay, that answers my question. Please don't tell me what you're thinking about. She gives a laugh before quickly returning a sad smile. Let's just say all of the above plus a lot more. Well, I can't say I'm not somewhat flattered that she's thinking at least somewhat about me, even though it might seem apparent from the fact that we basically spent the whole day together. But it's also Kagurazaka, so I have no idea what she could be thinking regarding me. I don't even know why she's spending so much time with me, because she needed to get the card. From what I can tell, she's pretty busy with whatever she does in her personal life. And I don't think I really offer anything to her, but she seems to always be the one to push for us to meet. Hey, Kagurazaka. How should I phrase this? I can't just ask her why she talks to me. Yes, you can. I was just wondering. It seems like you're pretty busy with stuff and have a lot on your mind. Is it okay for you to spend so much time with someone like me? What do you mean, someone like you? I don't know. It doesn't really seem like I can offer you that much. Well, that automatically makes you better than me. Not only do I offer nothing in return, but I also take from people. I'm basically a parasite. I don't get that impression from you. Maybe so, but what if I said I was just associating with you to get something out of you? I don't know enough about you to fully confirm that, but I don't believe that. I don't like to believe that you're that kind of person. You don't know that much about me, but you're going to trust me anyway? Are you an idiot? Yeah, I guess so. You aren't even going to deny it? First of all, I don't think you're someone who offers nothing. You should value yourself higher. Bitch, he can literally say the same thing about you! People be spitting out shit and never take their own shit, though! Wow. I also wouldn't want to hear that for someone who literally... whatever. It's fine. I'm sorry if I peaked my mic just then. I cannot. I'd be like, same, bitch, same. As for the reason I keep associating with you, she is interrupted by the intercom informing us that we're at our destination. Come with me. I want to show you something. Whatever. It's a very common thing. Easier said than done. It's literally the phrase. She and I make our way out of the station. I started following her to what seems like directions of what? I start following her to what seems like the direction of the coast. After a few minutes of walking, we arrive at a beach. Oh, I knew about this place, but haven't been here too often. It's a pretty peaceful night, especially with most of the other students out of town for a break. This is somewhere I like to go when I want to take a walk at night. She and I walk along the shore, leaving behind footsteps in the sand just short of the incoming water. The night sky is sprinkled with various stars. It kind of reminds me of Mana. As for the answer to your question, there are a lot of different reasons. I actually do think it's fun being with you. But in a lot of ways, I am using you for my own personal benefit. Interacting with you is an escape for me. For a brief moment in time, I can forget about some of the things that are eating away at me. There's also something that I want to get an answer on, and I don't think I can figure it out myself. Being with you, I think, will help me find that answer. Would it be something I could just answer if you asked me what you're trying to figure out? Nope, it's not something you should know. I'm being unreasonable, aren't I? I don't think it's unreasonable to not share everything about yourself. So you're okay with not knowing if I had any selfish reasons for talking to you? Have you ever thought that I could just be using you to further my own goals, that you'll just end up getting hurt? She's making it out to be so terrible, but is it honestly that bad? is it even reasonable to expect people to try to not have any ulterior motives for wanting to interact with someone? Yeah, it's not, yet you literally keep calling yourself a piece of shit and conceited and a terrible person because you have motives for being with someone. Like, are you finally getting it through your thick, sad skull? Is this the moment of epiphany that I've been waiting for you to have for the past 3.5 hours? Y'all, I'm truly still enjoying this game. I care because I'm invested in these characters. If I wasn't saying anything, then you would know that I don't like this game. It's because I keep interjecting. That you know I am enjoying myself. And are Kagurazaka's reasons even that bad? Are your reasons even that bad? Or are you just putting yourself down constantly, sir? If interacting with me could get her mind away and help her find some answers to her problem, then isn't that a good thing? Okay. He's getting there. I can't say that I've actually thought about that much. I don't really know much about you, but I do want you to be able to find your answers. If interacting with me helps with that, then I'm willing to take my chances. I'm not sure how reasonable it is to expect everybody who interacts with me to only do it because they want to be with me. The only thing I can say right now is that I think it's fun talking with you, and I don't think what you're saying could be that bad. You really to take those chances even though you don't know anything about me? Yeah, maybe I'll end up accumulating enough bond levels to understand you. Haha, what the heck? You literally came up with that, did you not? Fine, I'll concede for now, but don't come crying to me later when you inevitably get hurt. Sure, I'll eagerly be awaiting, and I hope that you end up finding your answer. Thanks. Now, I don't really know if this is what I'm looking for. I'm not sure if this current relationship is even right for me or blah, blah, blah. But I do know that I want to keep interacting with her. Maybe it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. Exactly. Since you've been the one reaching out for excuses to hang out, let me be the one this time. Wow, called her out on it. Do you want to hang out tomorrow as well? I can already feel the embarrassment. She probably feels embarrassed as well. Well, you asked her out by saying, I know you've been desperately coming up with excuses, so I'll take the next one. Like, you started off with an attack, in my opinion. Haha, you didn't even attach an excuse. You just straight up asked me if I wanted to spend time with you. Yeah, because that's totally fine, and you shouldn't be making fun of me for it, bitch. Like, I admire your boldness, but unfortunately I actually have to get some stuff ready tomorrow. Oh yeah, I can't. Well, that embarrassing moment ended up being for nothing. Maybe don't be so embarrassed. But I guess I can spare an hour or two tomorrow. Do you have any experience building computers? Yeah, I built my own. Good, come over to my place tomorrow. If you help me put the graphics cards in, so she did get the cards, then it'll save me some work. Your place? You mean where you live? What, do you think I'm homeless or something? Okay, I like that. I like that clap back. Yeah, I mean where I live. Are you fine with that? I literally just asked you, did I not? Don't make me take back what I said. Are you going to come or not? Yeah, I'll come. Cool, I'll see you tomorrow then. I'll message you my address, and when you come over, I'm gonna head back. And when you can come over. I'm gonna head back now. Alright, see you tomorrow. She gives me a smile before returning the way she came, retracing the footsteps still imprinted in the sand. I give a sigh as I look out at the ocean. This is so much harder than just watching a VTuber and relaxing. Facts. There are too many things I don't understand. I'm really struggling out here, Yokone. I hope you're happy. I'll give you a piece of my mind whenever she arrives. I can't say it's all bad, though. I mean, what bad thing happened? Like, literally nothing bad has happened. You're just... I don't know what you're doing. I guess for now, I'll head back home. I'm not used to walking around this much all day. What, is that it? It's like, man, having a friend sucks. It's a lot more walking than I'm used to. Wah. I arrive at her home late in the afternoon the next day. I push the button to the gate to inform her that I'm outside. It doesn't take long for me to hear the front door open. She walks out, hands in her pocket, and opens the gate for me. Hey, you're here early. Were you looking forward to this? I'm only a few minutes early. Most people wouldn't even call that being early. No need to make excuses. I understand. Is she that desperate to feel wanted when she's not in VTuber mode? Like, does she have that such low self-esteem that she constantly has to joke and like grasp at straws? So that's what's happening here, because it's kind of sad. Let's head inside. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be sad. That's the whole point. It's quite quiet as I walk through her house. Are your parents not home? I live here alone. My parents live somewhere else. That means we're here alone? Don't make it weird. Yes, are you expecting something to happen? No, stop making it weird. You literally are the one that is making it weird. That's what I should be saying. Yes, exactly. Anyway, let's head up to my room. There isn't too much of anything in terms of furniture or decoration on the way to her room. I guess she probably spends most of her time in her room. We make our way to the top floor. She leads me to a room at the end of the hall and opens the door. I met with a fairly organized room. Wait, does he not live alone? I assumed he lived alone. There are various technologies such as game consoles, tablets, sound systems, and a large PC setup. I also see some anime posters on the wall and some stuffed animals. Thinking about it, this is my first time in a girl's room besides Yoko Niz, but I don't think this is what should normally be expected. How would you know? Virgin ass. Like, he's literally judging her, saying he can't really judge from experience, but he's judging her for her room right now. Like, who's this little asshole right now? Wow, your room is surprisingly organized. What in your mind makes you think I would be a disorganized mess though? Like, they just keep insulting. Maybe it's just me. It's just me. Actually, you did a lot of cleaning before you got here. It was way messier than this. I don't think my closet can handle any more of my junk. I had to move some of my stuff to another room. She walks over to her PCs, already unplugged and detached from the rest of her setup. She picks up one of the computers along with a screwdriver and a box containing one of the graphics cards we bought the previous day and places the items in front of me. Here. Oh, the little Bob was so cute. Yeah. Wait, that was so cute. She said, that was cute. This is my baby, so you better not break anything. Otherwise, that won't be the only thing that leaves this house broken. Fearful for my life, I sit down and pick up the screwdriver and start gently unscrewing the side panel. Can you imagine if he actually breaks it? And then Mana is like, sorry, my computer broke. I have to reschedule my stream. She laughs as she sees my delicate labor and walks towards her desk and grabs the other PC. She places it down beside me and gets started on her own work. I won't keep you here too long. I know you probably want to get home before Mana's karaoke stream. Wait, I completely forgot that was today. Oh, you forgot about Mana's stream? That's surprising. I'm about as surprised as you are. I guess I've been distracted recently. I wonder what's been distracting you. Oh, you know, just recently some girl wants to spend some time with me, so I've been running around to her whims. You sure you aren't making this up? Can't imagine that happening. Yeah, you're right. I must have been hallucinating. You should probably get that checked. Doesn't sound healthy. Okay. Well, ignoring your unsuccessful gaslighting, are you excited for her karaoke stream? Yeah, I'm always a fan of karaoke, and the songs that she picks are always great. She has great taste in music. Agreed. I wonder what she'll be singing today. Also, has she not thought about the potential if he was like, oh, how about we just watch her stream together? Like, I feel like that would be like, why would I spend time rushing home when I could just watch her stream here with you? Is that a problem, Batman? Probably some Vocaloid songs. Probably. Are you excited for our anniversary stream? I'm expecting it to be the greatest stream ever. I can't wait. No pressure. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great. No pressure. I wonder what kind of stuff she'll be doing. No pressure. What do you think? No pressure. She has slowed down her movements. She remains silent, her body moving to the rhythm of her breaths. She seems to be taking deep breaths. Hello? Oh, sorry. Are you okay? You seem out of breath. It's nothing. She has slowed her hands movement to a halt. She doesn't seem to be paying attention to the task at hand anymore. She continues to take slow, deep breaths. Are you having a panic attack right now? Are you sure? You don't seem fine. Like, you don't have to put that much pressure on yourself. Like, an anniversary stream could literally just be rewatching your debut or, like, just playing one of your favorite games. Like, you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself that you can't function, at least. It's okay. You don't have to worry about me. It's this again, the dance of showing and restraining concern for each other. Just do it! Normally, I try to respect her wishes, but this doesn't seem like a situation where I should just ignore what's going on. Good. Here, let me finish that for you. I'm just about finished with this computer anyway. You should get yourself a glass of water or something. Thanks. She gets up and exits the room. I wonder what that was. Does she have problems with anxiety? I think so. I only mentioned Mana's upcoming anniversary stream. Maybe that's somehow related? Come on, idiot. She enters the room again with a glass of water in hand. Did you bring me one? She makes her way to her chair and sits down. Sorry about that. I can take over now if you want. That's okay, I'm almost done here. After feeling the click of the motherboard mount after pushing the graphics card in, I start screwing the card into place. She sits quietly in her chair watching me work. Did I say something that I shouldn't have? No, it wasn't your fault. It's just something I've been feeling anxious about. I'll manage. Is it anything I can help with? Well, technically, you're already helping with it. By both being here and by doing that work. So thanks, and also thanks for your concern. But it really isn't something worth worrying about. Remember how you say the exact same thing? I'm not entirely convinced. I finished screwing the side panel back on the PC. Hey, if there's anything you're going through that even I can help with, don't feel bad about asking me. Don't think of it as being a parasite or me showing unnecessary concern. Just think of it as continued repayment for the debt I owe you, for that postcard. She just stares at me blankly. Okay, yeah, that wasn't the most convincing from me, I'll admit, but I can't think of any other way to try and help you without making you feel like you're just taking from me. She stares at me for another few seconds and starts laughing. What was that? That wasn't convincing at all. But thanks. I hope that one day I'll become someone worthy of your concern. I can't. She walks over to me and picks up the PC in front of me. Boink. She takes it back to her desk and starts plugging in her peripherals. By the way, is this your first time in a girl's room? Of course not. Family members don't count. By the way, is this the first time you've let a guy in your room? Are you a whore? Just kidding. Don't redirect the Tristan back at me. I'll do whatever the hell I want. Fine, it is. Oh, I see. What about your answer? What answer? You know exactly what answer. I asked if this was the first time you let a guy in your room. Oh, that I'm not obligated to answer. Well, neither was I! What? But I answered your question. What are you, 12? We aren't taking turns here. I can choose to answer what I want. Yeah, so next time, don't answer her question. She asks you something, be petty. Be hella petty. And be like, sorry, I only answer questions that the other person is also willing to answer. Sorry. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. I'm going to take your reluctance to answer as a yes. Baseless assumptions only walk a path of ignorance. Hey, a path of ignorance doesn't sound too bad. Staying within the comfort of your own bubble and not having to deal with the pains that exist outside that world? Sign me up. Isn't that just taking the easy way out? Is it not answering my question, taking the easy way out, bitch? I can't with them. I can't. It is. You might never know what could have been, but you avoid getting hurt. You don't have to deal with the uncertainties, anxieties, and other hardships for taking a step outside. Okay, they are hamming it so much like philosophy or whatever you want to call it. Like, people don't talk like this every 5 seconds. Don't you feel that way sometimes, that you would rather take the easy way out? All the time. But I'm not the type of person to stay content with that fate. Sure you aren't. Not when I know there's something out there that I want. Sure. Would you really be okay with staying ignorant when you know that deep inside that isn't what you're truly looking for? To stay withdrawn and avoid taking any steps forward because I'm afraid of getting hurt is just something I wouldn't be able to settle for. You're literally doing that right now. And you, like, keeping him at arm's length and being like, oh, I don't want to burden you. That's literally what you're doing, though. I know that's an easy way out, to just stay withdrawn within your own world. I'm inclined to say that it's not even cowardly to do that. It might even be the most logical thing to do. But I refuse to resign myself to such a miserable fate. Do you? I'm going to take a hold of that opportunity and try to find what I'm looking for, even if it means getting hurt. No, you're not! You literally aren't doing that, though. Even if it means I might not even find what I'm looking for. Because to me, remaining stagnant is akin to accepting the hand that has dealt to you and never fighting back. Like, see, this is not landing on me at all, because she is literally still doing that with regards to him. So I'm not buying it. I'm definitely not buying it. It's also so hammed up, from like asking the question to going this whole philosophical tangent. Like, I'm not buying it. I'm not invested. I'm not gonna take the bait. It's like this was the fate that I was assigned and that I should just accept it. But I'm the one who determines my own fate. Like, I'd be like, bitch, why you say all that? I literally just asked if you had a boy in your room. Jesus Christ. You really are amazing. She's not. But, I mean, she is in her own ways. But not because of that. Huh? I'm really not. I can't. They need to, okay, whatever. I'll just keep going. I don't think I would ever have the strength to take that step forward myself. I mean, maybe the step she took was even VTubing at a baseline. I'm just the type of person who has others do it for me, even though I know it's something I have to accomplish with my own strength. That's why I think you're amazing. Like what, sir? Like what? I'm really not the person you think I am. Even though I just gave that whole spiel about determining my own fate, reality is a whole different beast. That's what I was thinking. I was like, sure, you could say all the shit you want to say, but are you actually doing it? But I'll still accept your compliment. Consider that to be +1 bond level with me. Is that still out of 1,000? Well, progress is progress. Yep, you're at bond level 7 now. Wait, that's lower than before. I can't help but laugh with her. It really is weird how I'm not nervous in this situation. I'm with her in her own room, not to mention we're both in college. Yeah, you're the only pervert thinking that right now. Jeez, calm the fuck down. This isn't what I would imagine how the scenario would typically go. Yeah, stop being a pervert. I probably shouldn't be thinking like that. You shouldn't, you pervert. I'm gonna start having weird expectations like a pervert. But what guy wouldn't have those kinds of thoughts in this situation? Someone who's not a pervert. I'm sorry, I'm not letting him off the hook here. I think it's really weird that he's even having these trains of thoughts. I feel like it's like expected dialogue in this situation, but it feels inorganic to his character. But how would I know? It's not my character. Okay, now I'm starting to make myself nervous. Pervert. Stop, me. Clear your mind of any impure thoughts, you pervert. You are a clear mirror that reflects still waters. I look over at her and catch her staring at me with a smile. Our eyes meet and it feels like the world stops for a moment. Maybe it was because of the mood, but she turns her head away, not letting me catch a glimpse of her expression. I also turn my head away in embarrassment. Clear mirror, still water, clear mirror, still water. God, my heart is beating too fast right now, like a pervert. Damn it, stop being endearing. You. Why did you have to be cute there? What? Now it's awkward. I could only hear the beating of my heart in the silence that followed. I glance over at her to see she's still looking away. Suddenly, her head perks up. Wait, what time is it? She picks up her phone to look at the time. Shoot, it's almost time for the stream. You should probably get going. Honestly, I don't mind missing out on it. I could always look back at the VOD. Eh? She looks at me, just as surprised as I am about what I just said. Wait, why did I just say that? I'm basically telling her that I want to stay here and be a pervert! And what's gotten into me? I usually would never miss out on her stream. And I'm really deciding to stay here with her over missing out on Mana's last stream before her anniversary. I mean, you literally just said you could just watch the VOD. Like, you were the one bitching on, you're the one looking down on people who like watching VODs. And look, now you've become one. How about that, little bitch? I'm flattered that you want to stay with me that badly. But I have some obligations, so you're gonna have to go home for today. Oh, alright. You pervert! Don't be too disappointed. I'll message you later tonight. Now get going. You can make it home before the stream starts. Yeah, I think I'll be able to make it. Thanks for having me over today. I'll talk to you later. Bye. See, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, what if he was legit like, I'll just stay here, watch with you. I navigate my way out of her house and find that it's already becoming dark outside. I did not do a good job at hiding my disappointment, did I? She's probably going to hold that over me later by teasing me. I glance at the window of her room on the second floor before releasing a big sigh. I start walking back home, thinking back to the events today. The sound of insects and distant cars fill the air as I arrive at the door to my apartment. Also, will the sister do like a surprise visit at some point? Just in time for Mana's stream to start. I reach into my pocket to pull out my keys only to feel the softness of fabric. I check my other pockets on the off chance I had decided to put my keys in a different location. Did I really leave the keys to my apartment at her place? God, I was too distracted by what happened towards the end, and I was in a bit of a rush to get back so I wouldn't miss Mana's stream. I don't think I really have a choice at this point. I'll have to walk back to her place and watch Mana's stream on my phone in the meantime. I have another big sigh before heading back the direction I came. Yes! Let's get this resolution started! What am I even doing? It's not ideal, but tuning in through my phone will have to do. That being said, she's taking a bit to transition from her intro screen. Kon Mana, this is your shining star on the night side, Mana Orion. Sorry about the delay, I got occupied by something and didn't have that much time to prepare. You guys probably don't mind though, not like you have anything better to do with your time, hee hee. Let's just get started. I just feel like singing my heart out tonight. First up, we have one of my favorites. The sound of the powerful electronic instrumental filled the air around me. Oh, this is one of Mana's favorite Vocaloid songs. I guess Kagurazawa was right. Mana's voice enters with a soft and steady tone. The lyrics are about wanting to become someone like you, while at the same time wanting to become someone that feels very me. Isn't that contradictory? I guess not if the you is referring to someone that's also myself. What? I guess even the song asks, but then would that really be me? It sort of reminds me of my conversation with her. Mana builds a steady crescendo as the song approaches the chorus, her voice in perfect harmony with the feelings of resignation from the song. As Mana delivers the chorus, I can feel my phone lightly reverberate from the power of Mana's voice? What? The lyrics are about how the way that one is... What? The lyrics are about how the way that one is, they are better off dead, where they wish that the world was so that everyone hated them and rejoiced if they were to disappear. Oh my god, what is this writing? Is this just me, or is the writing a little clunky right now? That way, all their reasons for wanting to say goodbye would go away. The song itself sounds really pleasing to the ear, but the lyrics are nothing short of harrowing. I wonder how much the meaning of the song plays into this being one of Mana's favorites. But the song isn't necessarily without any hope either. The one that these lyrics are directed towards is someone that is able to smile at the singer's existence. Because of that, the singer cannot bring themselves to disappear. Does having just one person make that much of a difference? Yes, for some. I continue to walk down the path back to her place. I start to see her house in the distance. It's faint, but I can see the lights, that some lights are still on. She must still be up. I guess I'll give her a call. I pause Mana's stream while she's still singing. Guess I can afford to miss a little bit of the song. Okay, now he's... I call her number and put my phone to my ear. I hear my phone ring twice before being sent to voicemail. It only rang twice? Did she reject the call? Guess I'll try ringing the doorbell once I'm there. I pull up Mana's stream again to see that I hadn't missed too much of the song. What? After a few seconds, I hear the sound of a phone ringing. It's coming from Mana's stream. Mana's voice wavers as she starts going into a mini panic mode. I can hear the sounds of Mana picking her phone up from her desk. The sound of the phone is silenced after 2 rings. Sorry, I forgot to mute my phone before the stream. It's something important. Sorry, I'll start the song over. I'm frozen in place as Mana starts to sing over again. That was just a coincidence, right? I will literally drop kick him into hell. But what are the odds that the events are exactly the same and the timing is almost perfectly aligned with the stream? Yes, what are the odds, math nerd? Is he the one that said he likes math? I might be making that up. There's no way. I'll try calling her one more time. I call once again to hear a continuous ringing. No response. The prompt to leave a voicemail is the only thing I hear. Maybe she's asleep and that's why she's not answering. Bitch, she just sent you to voicemail. Of course she didn't just fall asleep. But why did it only ring? Yes. Oh, come on. But why did it only ring twice before? And now it's ringing all the way to voicemail after Mana said she muted her phone? I swallow and take a deep breath before making my way closer to her house. I reach the gate of the house with my phone still in hand. Mana is currently chatting in between songs. I reach my finger to the doorbell but hesitate to press it. I'm unsure if this is what I should be doing. The desire to confirm my suspicions is so strong that I'm fighting every existing belief I have that this knowledge should be kept secret. No, there's no possible way. There's completely different people, and I have to get my keys or else I won't be able to go back. I really am stupid for thinking this. Let's just press it. I finally gather the strength to push the doorbell. I can see my hand shaking. Listen, y'all, you can't see how close I am to my computer screen right now, but I am ready. I'm ready for this because I called this shit. Mana continues to talk like normal. Each second that passes feels like an eternity. I concentrate on every word that he has spoken through my phone. 5 seconds pass, 6, 7. I hear the faint sound of a doorbell, and I see Mana's model perk up. Sorry for the interruption, guys. I'll be right back. Don't blow everything up while I'm gone. I can feel my heart racing as I swallow. My eyes are locked on the front door of her house. After what feels like an eternity, I hear the sounds of the door being unlocked. She walks out, her typical casual mannerism showing as she approaches. She opens her mouth, and what comes out is the familiar, tired voice. Hey, I saw that you called, and now I see that you're standing outside my house again. Didn't I say I was busy? Did you miss me that? She stops before the gate and pauses after seeing the expression on my face. I didn't... The fact that she was so cool and collected when she answered, though... I don't even know what expression I was showing. Was it shock, happiness, anger, excitement, disappointment, all of the above? What's with that expression? Is something wrong? Are you... Mana? What? She stops after realizing that Mana's usual background music is playing faintly from my phone. Time freezes and the only sound that can be heard is the sound of Mana's background music. It takes Kako what feels like a minute to come to a realization. Her expression immediately changes. Her eyes widen and she starts breathing heavily. Hey, it's not... I can hear the deep breaths that she has to take in between her words. I'm unable to form my own words to say. She knows that She knows that there isn't a way to get out of this situation. If she's to return, the timing would just further confirm my suspicions. If she's to stay here, that would just end up doing the same. I can see terror and confusion in her expression. The surge of thoughts and emotions rushing through my mind is overpowering, and any decision to say something to alleviate the situation. I need to say something, anything. I left my keys in your room, I think. Huh? Oh, let me get them real quick. She walks quickly back into her house, her steps erratic. Minutes pass and I stand outside. Suddenly, I hear the voice of Mana. Hey guys, I'm really sorry, but something important just came up. I'm gonna have to end the stream here. It's nothing bad, I promise. I'll see everyone at my anniversary stream. Oyasumana! The stream immediately ends without transitioning into her outro. Her voice was shaking and out of breath. The realization hits me that this is actually the same voice as the one I've been hearing that has little to no life in it. After a few minutes, she comes out with my keys in hand. Here. Thanks. She hands me the keys and then we both stand in silence, not making eye contact. I am loving this. I'm loving this. No more bullshit. Y'all have to talk. None of this talking in circles. Just realness now. Kagurazaka is the first to break the silence. You know, don't you? Yes, that's what he said. What even are my options here? It's obvious to both of us at this point. Playing dumb might just make her angry. Yeah. Give me some time to process this. I'll message you tomorrow night. Oh, okay. And I won't tell anyone. Have more faith in my trust. I know you're not the type of person to just try and spread it. Please don't reach out to me until I message you. I just need some time to myself. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow then. Night. I watch as she turns and walks back into her house. I just stand in place, even after the door was shut behind her. I don't know what happened after that. The next thing I knew, I was in my room, staring at my ceiling. I was unaware of anything happening around me. There was only one thing I could focus on. Her. Kagura. I really wish they had talked it out together, but sure, whatever. I lie in bed, still processing whether the events that I had transpired were just a dream. I don't know how long it's been since I arrived home, but I'm unable to fall asleep. I breathe heavily, my heart still pounding from the rush of emotions I'm feeling. So Kagurazaka is Mana? I think that would explain a lot of things, but that just makes everything else seem more confusing. Why are they so different? Or are they? I mean, I guess they have a similar way of messing with people. But how are their voices coming from the same person? Mana is so positive and hopeful, but Kagurazaka seems like the soul has been sucked out of her. Kagurazaka, who's so hard on herself, and Mana, who's the object of everyone's attention. I had always thought VTubers, Mana especially, were these unreachable figures of kindness, virtue, and strength. Should I be angry that Kagurazaka is completely different? If so, then why aren't I? Shouldn't I be calling her a liar and a coward? Is that even fair? No. All I can feel right now is confusion and, of course, excitement. The sudden realization hits me. I've been interacting with Mana this entire time. This is something everybody only dreams about. They only get to see her on stream and can never make their existence known. Maybe you can get a bit of attention by donating, but almost everyone will never even get acknowledged. That kind of sucks, though. I feel like... Well... Again, I don't have super big famous VTuber problems, but I definitely make sure to acknowledge everyone who donates to me. I mean, that's what the super chat streams are, right? A chance to make sure that everyone who donates gets heard or acknowledged for their donation. I've been able to interact with her in person, even spending time alone with her. Heck, I've been inside Mana's room alone with her, and there the pervert comes out again. Mana has been voluntarily interacting with me this entire time. Surely that means she has an interest in me, right? Okay, so now you're making it a romance. Ugh. I could be someone special to a person like Mana? How many people can only dream of this situation? Even more so that I know her identity. How many people know that besides me? I mean, Kagurazaka doesn't seem to interact with too many people, so it must be only me, right? I pull up my phone and open my private browser and start searching for any indication that Mana's identity is known on the internet. There's no concrete evidence for any speculations, only wild assumptions built on desperate grasps of information. They are all completely wrong. Nobody knows a thing. I'm very likely the only one who knows. This is actually crazy. One day, I'm just any one of her tens of thousands of viewers, and the next I figured out I've been spending time with her alone. You gotta stop stressing the alone thing. It's kind of getting creepy. I don't know how long I spent awake in bed that night. The adrenaline wouldn't wear off even after multiple hours of browsing the web for praises about Mana. I'm pretty sure I've exhausted every top comment section on all her VODs. Everyone's praising her. That is the person that I am special to. Okay, it's getting a little... The last thing I remember before falling asleep is a clip of Mana's. When I open my eyes, I'm greeted by the brightness of the sun, long past dawn. I feel a bit sick as I turn my head to locate my phone, realizing that I didn't get much sleep. I immediately recall the events of the night prior, and I'm once again unable to contain my thoughts. The feeling in my chest has grown to be almost crippling. The intense aching of a fresh infatuation overwhelms any other sensations I'm feeling. It's already noon. How many hours of sleep did I even get? I still have so much time before Kagurazaka contacts me. I don't even feel like eating. Maybe I can wait until tonight and eat with Kagurazaka. I'm sure we have a lot of things to talk about. I'm looking at my phone at her contact. No, I shouldn't. I just have to wait until tonight. I put my phone back down and start daydreaming to pass the time. I go through scenarios where I'm seen as Mana's partner, no matter how implausible they are. Okay. Maybe Mana mentions that there's someone that she's been seeing, and everyone starts getting jealous. Maybe some chat logs are leaked where she sends me suggestive messages. What the heck? Maybe I'm out with Kagurazaka and I hear other people talking about how amazing Mana is. This continued for hours. I don't like this. I feel like now he's like talking about potential leaked suggestive message. Like, what the heck? How would they even leak unless you did it? Like, you know? Every hour that passed just served to indulge in my own thoughts and strengthen the feelings I had. My heart felt like it would jump out of my chest every time my phone would get any notification. The subsequent disappointment at seeing that it wasn't from her would feel equally as powerful. Eventually, the message from Kagurazaka came at around the time when the sun was starting to set. Can you meet me at the beach in a bit, like in 30 minutes? I take deep breaths to calm myself as I come to terms with this isn't a dream. Yeah, okay, I'll see you soon. Wait 30 minutes? I still need to take a shower and change my clothes. I rush through all my long overdue tasks of freshening up for the day and head to the beach. Ooh. It didn't take long for the shore, orange with the warm glow of the sun, to enter my vision. Despite not having much time to prepare, I arrived 5 minutes earlier than the agreed upon time. I can feel my anticipation rising as I approach the shore. I step onto the sand and start looking out for any sign of Kagura. Eventually, I catch sight of a familiar figure looking out at the ocean. The rush of emotion from seeing Kagurazaka isn't like anything I felt before from being with her. I'm seeing her in a completely different light than before. She turns to me when she notices my presence. She looks even worse than usual. Was it because I found out her secret? Yes! You look like you didn't get any sleep at all. That's what I should be saying. Are you okay? Never been better. She returns a weak smile, but I can see her visibly trembling. Her expression shifts to a more fearful, pained look. What's with that expression? I didn't necessarily expect her to be ecstatic that her secret's out. But if she trusted me to keep it to myself, then isn't it better that she has someone that she can talk about her secret with? Kagurazaka just silently stands there, her eyes occasionally shifting to me. Does she have something that she wants to say? Maybe I can ease up the mood so that I can calm down? So you're Mana, eh? That sure was a surprise. I never would have guessed. Not helpful. Makato's expression just became more pained and terrified. Am I making it worse? Yes! It's because she thinks it's a bad thing? Isn't it a good thing? That I know she's this amazing person? No, you freaking idiot because she clearly doesn't think that she's an amazing person and that it's a fake persona and she doesn't feel like she's actually that great. So for you to be pushing that narrative onto her, but she's been talking about how she hates that narrative because... Honestly, this is the first time I'm rooting against the protagonist, and I hope that she goes, I'm sorry you found out like this, but this is crossing my personal boundary, and I do not want to be friends with someone who knows. I don't want to be friends with you. Goodbye. Like, I hope she shuts him down, because this is getting into creepy fan, not gonna see her for who she is, and I'm in love with you because you're Mana and not because of who. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. She needs to shut him down, and I hope that's what happens. Like, I don't see this going well at all. Okay. You're pretty amazing, though. Stop! Shouma, stop! How? Oh, I can't. That you're this huge VTuber that inspires so many people. Stop! No, that's not... It's true. I was thinking that you're just this negative person, but you managed to keep positive and smile through as Mana. Oh. Stop. Like, how does he... Okay. You mentioned that your goal was to become a strong, beautiful, and happy person. I think as Mana, you've shown that you're all of those. To be fair, I kind of think that too. I said that myself. But that's not what she needs to hear right now. Stop it. I flinch at Kagurazaka's outburst. This is the first time I've heard her shout like that. Stop it, please. Just stop. I'm not any of that. I'm taken aback by her reaction as she looks more pained than I've ever seen her before. Hello? Okay. What do you mean? You really don't get it, do you? He doesn't. Say, don't you remember all those conversations we had about Mana, or just about identity in general? The realization hits me. The conversation we had when we first met, the one at the aquarium, everyone we've had about VTubers, they are all related to her experience as Mana. It's so obvious. What the hell have I been thinking about for the past day? I've told you before, more than anything, I wish to become the kind of person that Mana's identity embodies. Someone who has the strength to overcome any hardship with a smile. Someone who is selfless and beautiful. Someone who is happy. When I become Mana, that's my attempt to try and reinvent myself into that kind of person. That's what her identity has come to embody. But that's not actually who I am, deep inside. I'm just hiding everything when I become Mana. Isn't that so contradictory? I strive for a certain identity, and when people start to see me as that, I start to feel guilty. There's nobody to blame but myself. I'm basically lying by hiding everything. But if you're the one behind the actions of Mana when she embodies those values, then aren't you embodying them yourself? You're still the same person, no? How different can you be from the Mana on the screen? You're really gonna make me say it, aren't you? What do you mean? Haven't you figured it out already? Do you think I make jokes about suffering and existential dread just for fun? Huh? That's just my way of coping. It's funny, isn't it? Most people would kill to be in the position I'm in with VTubing. There are people who work so hard but never get to catch a glimpse of what it's like to be at the top. So tell me, why am I not happy? I'm sure if everyone saw me, they would be disgusted. Maybe they would laugh at me. Maybe they would even want me to disappear. Honestly, I wish I was that way. Aren't you angry? You put VTubers on a pedestal, but now the one you've idolized the most turns out to be me. Someone who's as selfish, hypocritical, repulsive, and broken as I am. But you're not... No. You don't know anything about me. You don't understand anything about me. Even before I became a VTuber, I've always hated myself. I've always hated how weak and selfish I am and how I always hurt others. I hate how I'm always tired. I hate how I can only think negatively. I hate how I always selfishly get involved with people knowing that I'll just hurt them. I hate how my very existence just brings suffering to others. VTubing was a way that I could fix all that, start fresh and try to become the person I want to be while also trying to bring happiness to others. And VTubing became one of my few happinesses in this world. I wish that's all it was, but there's so much more to it that brought me suffering. Everybody believes I'm this amazing person when in reality I'm often crying myself to sleep at how pathetic I am. Even as a VTuber, I just end up hurting people. I selfishly involved myself with another VTuber and ended up just causing them suffering. Why? Was it me? Why did I make it big and not her? She's so much more amazing than me. And every single day I have to work myself to death to meet the expectations of Mana. Communicating with artists, planning out schedules, creating thumbnails, editing videos, rehearsing songs, meeting deadlines, dealing with issues like copyright, and on top of going to school on my own time. Not to mention having to deal with hate messages, people being overbearing, not knowing the intentions of anybody that wants to talk to you, having to watch everything you say on stream, always worrying about the viewer or subscriber numbers, people trying to impersonate me, always being insecure if my performance is good enough or if I'm living up to expectations, every little mistake weighing on my mind for the longest time. Do you have any idea what kind of things people say about me? I mean, probably. No matter what I do, there are always people who are dissatisfied. There will always be people who say the cruelest things. I take a break. Wow, Mana must not care about her viewers. I stream more. Oh, I'm going to have every action misinterpreted or psychoanalyzed by obsessed people. Like, I know I'm... I know. Why can't some people just be nice? Like, just leave me alone. I've had no time to indulge myself in the things that I want to do on my own time. I've had no time to play the games I want to play, no time to give to the people that I want to give to in my personal life. I mean, you made time for him. Even if I had time, I don't even know if I can find it in myself to do any of those things. Anytime I do get to myself, I just spend in bed, unable to find the motivation to do anything. It's not uncommon for me to find myself staring at my computer screen with a load of work piled up and for me to just start crying. You know how my anniversary stream is coming up? I've been spending my time on trying to find a solution to my issues or wallowing in despair instead of working on any of it. And now I have so much piled up that I haven't even started on. I'm just so tired of it all. It ends up reflecting in my attitude and I just end up lashing out at people or I come off as uninterested or negative, which just makes me hate myself even more. Why? Why am I like this? Why? I don't understand. Because you're depressed and exhausted and burnt out. Go see a therapist. Why am I like this? I just stand there, unable to say anything. Yeah, just don't. Don't. Just listen. What am I even supposed to say? Don't say anything. I don't know anything about what she's saying. This is how she felt the entire time? How could I be so stupid because you are stupid? She's given hints at it the entire time I've been talking to her. She has. Seeing Kagurazaka agonizing like this is too much. Please, don't go on. He's like, it's too hard for me to hear your burdens. Can you, like, chill? That's not even the end of it. Oh, no. Do you know why I've been interacting with you? It's because I wanted to see how someone who liked Mana would see me. Since I'm Mana and she's so loved, surely this broken part of myself can also be loved, right? I mean, see, isn't that so pathetic? I knew it! I was like, she's so desperate for her not Mana persona, quote persona, herself to be loved, that every 5 seconds she was like, oh, you're so excited to see me because she hates herself so much. I called that. I called all of this shit, to be honest. I got you involved for such a stupid reason, even knowing you would just get hurt in the end. And look at how everything's turned out. This is my punishment for being so stupid and selfish. Oh, youngins. How could someone like me be loved? I can't find the right words to say. I want to say that what Kagurazaka said isn't true. Of course she can be loved. But what about my own experiences? Why did I suddenly start getting obsessed over her after finding out that she was Mana? They're the same people, aren't they? But Kagurazaka is the side of herself that she doesn't want to show people. Is that the side that I care less about than Mana? I definitely felt something for Kagurazaka before finding out, but now it's just mixed with my infatuation for Mana. How am I able to understand what I felt? Is Kagurazaka right in that I just started liking her because of her status as Mana? And look at me, just ranting to you selfishly like this about my own issues. I didn't want you to know, because I was afraid you would come to hate me after figuring out how pathetic the person behind Mana was. But I let myself become too indulgent in this temporary happiness. I got so careless. No, this shouldn't have even happened in the first place. I never should have been selfish and involved you. Let's have this be the last act. Let's have this be my last act of selfishness towards you. From now on, I won't involve myself with you anymore. My heart sinks. How could that be for the best? How could that be what I would want? What? That's not... This is for the best. I know I've already hurt you. Also, don't tell me what I feel, first of all. I don't want you to continue being hurt, and I don't want to continue interacting with you knowing that I'm hurting you. Don't project that shit onto me. How could this be for the best? I don't think any of those things about you. Didn't you mention in one of our previous conversations about not feeling like you're understood? You might think that I'm wrong about what I just said, but I don't think you'll ever come to understand what I've been through and what I'm going through. That hits me like a sledgehammer. I've just been grasping at whatever I can find in myself to try to and say to Kagurazaka to fix things. But I never once understood what she was going through, nor did I even try to understand what she was going through. I was only thinking about myself and how I could gain from Kagurazaka being Mana. How pathetic am I? Kagurazaka's eyes widen as she realizes the impact of what she said. Why do I keep doing this? Sorry, Sorry, and goodbye. She turns and starts running. I reach out my hand towards her in a futile attempt to try and bring her back. I can't bring myself to call out for her, to tell her that she's wrong. But maybe she wasn't. How could I know? I didn't know anything about her. Even if I did understand her, what am I supposed to say? I can't just say, be happy. I mean, that's what she did. She told the other person, just be happy. And that will be the end of that. How is someone like me supposed to help her out of her depression? Am I supposed to just tell her that it'll get better as a VTuber? That's just a lie, isn't it? I can't just tell her I am here for you. It'll all be alright. How conceited is that coming from someone who didn't make any efforts to understand her? And what can I even do? And telling her you're not the awful person you think you are, does that even mean anything coming from me? All I could do was watch as Kagurazaka went out of sight. I continued standing on the beach for what felt like hours. What have I been doing? Did I really think I could have become someone of value just because I knew about Mana's identity? Why am I like this? I let myself become obsessed and didn't think at all about Kagurazaka, about what she was going through. Even now, I'm still having thoughts about my own personal gain. She just told me about how she's suffering, and the first thoughts that came to me are still ones about how my value as a human can be realized. It's so pathetic. I didn't know what Kagurazaka was going through. If only I had paid attention to all of our conversations. Even then, how could I even help her? There's nothing I can do on my own. I hate how worthless I am. Kagurazaka has helped me out in the past through VTubing, and all I can do is nothing for her in return. All I did was make everything worse. I knew what was going to happen, and I still pressed that doorbell. I even asked her if she was Mana. It would have been better if I hadn't known. All I've done is cause her grief because of my selfishness. I fell into that exact trap I shouldn't have. My view of Kagurazaka completely changed, and I started thinking about her differently. I pushed my own expectations onto her. I pushed my own identity of Mana onto her, not realizing that it was just causing her pain. I threw my phone across the room in anger. Even now I'm still having these disgusting thoughts. That I still have a chance with Kagurazawa so that I can validate my own worth. I'm still prioritizing my selfish wishes instead of thinking about what's best for her. Maybe she's right. Someone like me, who's only thinking of using her to make myself feel better, doesn't deserve to be with her. The overwhelming heartache that I have isn't weakening in the slightest. I start clenching my chest in a futile attempt to ease the pain. These feelings I have only serve to fuel the guilt that's built up. Why am I still feeling like this? This isn't right. This isn't because I actually love her. This is only because I figured out she was Mana. Because I suddenly thought I had a chance to become validated. I didn't know Mana. I only became obsessed with the side of herself that is shown on screen, without ever having come to an understanding of who she was as a person. How could I even think that would turn into a relationship? It's just me pressing my feelings and insecurities onto someone without ever thinking about the give and take of both people. Why am I even thinking that I ever even had a chance in the first place? Kagurazawa said it herself. She only interacted with me so she could see if she could be loved for herself. It didn't have to be me in particular. It could have been any of the other hundreds of thousands of Mana fans out there. It's just like before. Nobody's ever going to voluntarily interact with someone like me just for me. They shouldn't. Not when I'm someone who just thinks about himself. Even still, my thoughts keep trailing back to her. It keeps telling me to go back to her so I can fulfill my conceited fantasies. Why? Why am I like this? Get out of my head. Get out of my head. I slam my forehead against the floor of my room. The pain of the impact rings against my head, but I can't focus on it in my current state. I wish I could just disappear. My thoughts are interrupted as the door swings open and a tall female figure steps in. Sister! Shouma, you're in here, aren't you? Why aren't you picking up your phone? I've been trying to call... She stops as soon as she sees me on the floor. Yoko, ne? My sister rushes over and crouches down in front of me. What happened? You look terrible. It's nothing. Sorry for worrying you. I was a bit occupied with something. I attempt to stand up, but Yoko-ne grabs me by my shoulders and stops me. Shouma, there's no way that this is just nothing. I'm not going to just ignore the state you're in. Someone like me isn't worth your concern. I'm just a terrible person with nothing to offer. What are you saying? We're family. Of course I'm going to be concerned about you. I'm not expecting you to offer me anything in return either. And I'm the one who determines who's worth my concern. Exactly. I'm determining that you're a wonderful person that's offered me so many joys in life that are worth my concern. So please, don't say that. But you're not a burden to me, Shouma. And even if you were, then that would be okay. I want you to burden me if it helps you. So please, rely on me. Bother me, burden me, without feeling like you have to offer anything in return. Your wonderful existence is enough for me. Yoko-ne pulls me into an embrace. I don't know what you've been going through, and I won't force you to tell me, but please, just let me do this. Let me be here for you. The warmth of my sister's embrace overwhelms me with emotions. I'm unable to find the energy to keep my composure, and I rest my head on Yoko-ne's shoulder. I could see the tears starting to blur my vision. Take as much time as you need. I won't go away. Is this really okay? I don't know if this is right or what I should be thinking, but I don't care. I just want to stay here, right in this moment. Yay! Are you feeling a bit better now? Yeah, thanks. Can I share what happened? Yoko-ne smiles and starts rubbing my head. Of course, you dummy. Dumbass. But you haven't eaten yet, have you? Let's head to the cafe down the street. We can talk while you're eating. I just noticed my acute anger amidst the ocean of other feelings. I guess I haven't eaten anything today. Okay. Splash some water on your face first, then we can go. After a trip to the washroom, I head to the local cafe with Yoko-ne. Please don't actually show real-time him re-explaining everything. So that's what happened, huh? Yes. Not that I don't mind the extra dialogue. I want to know what the resolution is, you know? Like, people are like, oh, it's about the journey, not the destination. I'm completely the opposite. Like, I'm all about destination. Like, I just want to know what the resolution is, you know? I silently eat my food as Yokone sits in thought over my experiences with Kagurazaka. What do you think? Are you okay with the way things are? I don't know. Maybe it's for the best. Best for who? Would either of you truly be happy with this result? What about what you want? Do you want to keep her in your life? Of course I do, but I can't do anything for her. I'll just end up burdening her. I would just end up making things even more painful for her. Yokine lets out a sigh while smiling at me. You know, Shouma, we hurt others just by existing, whether we like it or not. I've hurt plenty of people in the past. It hurts me even more so when it's someone that I deeply care about. People have hurt me as well, whether they meant to or not. We've hurt each other plenty of times growing up, haven't we? Yeah, I remember the physical beatings I received from you whenever I would take your food. Hey, that's when we were kids, and you know I wasn't talking about physical harm. But we had our fair share of fights, ones where we initially thought we wouldn't ever talk to each other again. And you know what? Despite all the harm we've caused each other, I've never once regretted having you in my life. The memories I've made, the experiences I've had, all the feelings we shared, this relationship we built, all of that makes me think it's all worth it. Do you think the experiences you had with Kagurazaka the past few days are all for nothing? Of course not. Then I think it's okay for you to keep hurting each other. That just means you two will just have to keep building happy memories and experiences to make it all worth it. But that's just idealistic. We can't just expect happy moments to just come. Then you two will have to grab a hold of those moments yourselves. Like, have fun, get hurt, be confused, get lost, cry, laugh, cherish all those moments. But I'm honestly nothing compared to Kagurazaka. I can't do anything for her, and she said it herself. She only associated with me for her own goals. She would never want someone like me. Trust me, I'm sure you offered more to her than you can realize. And even if you hadn't, do you really feel the need to try and offer something to her? Isn't it enough for you to just want to be with each other? But sometimes all someone really needs is to be in the company of someone they cherish, even if they know they'll be hurt or burdened. But how do you know that Kagurazaka wants to continue having me in her life? She herself was trying to push me away. But isn't that it? Maybe it matters to her so much because she's trying not to hurt someone that she cares about. It hurts the most when you hurt someone that you care about deeply. It's our instinct to try to push them away so that we don't hurt them anymore. What she says isn't always going to be what she actually feels. It's just like you and me. People tend to not be honest with themselves. I'm not going to pretend like I can understand her, so I can't confirm that. I failed to understand her for as long as I've known her. Isn't that fine? Tell me, do you think you completely understand me? Well, I think I understand you fairly well, but there are certain things I can't understand despite my attempts to. See? And that makes me happy. I don't think we'll ever fully understand each other, no matter how hard we try. But it makes me happy just knowing that you attempted it. And it makes me happy that you understand the parts that you do understand. Maybe all that girl needs isn't someone that can fully understand her. Maybe just someone who tries to. Yokone, you're really a romantic, aren't you? Hey, I've had my fair share of ups and downs in relationships. And don't be calling me romantic when you're the one here going out and finding love this complicated in the span of a few days. I can't help but laugh despite what's happened today. It's been a while since I've been able to just sit and chat with Yokone. You really took my advice to go out and meet people, didn't you? To think you'd get yourself in such a situation just a few days after we talked. That means I can place all the blame on you, right? Since you're the one who told me to go out and meet people? Don't get cheeky with me. This is magnitudes larger than just going out and meeting people. But I'm glad you managed to find someone that you care so much about. What? I'd like to meet Kagurazaka sometime, maybe after all this dies down. She said the same thing, that she'd like to meet you. but I don't know how this will turn out. And even if we do manage to patch things up between us somewhat, she still has all the problems that she needs to deal with. Yeah, honestly, I don't have an easy answer for you, especially the VTuber related hardships. I can't say I have any experience with any of that. But that's okay, isn't it? What is? Not knowing the answer. We can't always have the right answer to everything, and there might not always be a right answer. But I think that's alright. There's nothing wrong with being a little lost. If you look around you, we're all lost in our own ways. Even you look like you got everything together. Of course, I might look like I got everything together, but I am lost in my own way. Is there anything I can help with? Yokone forms a big smile and starts rubbing my head again. It's just a typical adult stuff. Maybe I can tell you more about it later. You need to focus on yourself and Kagurazaka first, though. Alright. I want to try and do something for Kagurazaka, but I don't really know what I can provide. I haven't met her, but from what you've told me, I think it's enough for you to be there for her. It seems like she's trying to take on the entire world by herself. Even if you don't have an answer for her, just being someone who can try and understand her might be enough. Are you sure about that? Even someone like me? Especially someone like you. One day, you'll realize your worth, Shouma, and I'm sure Kagurazaka will have a part in that. Yeah, I feel like everyone has to figure out, what their worth is. I don't feel like there's anyone truly worthless. And even in, certain contexts, you might not be of worth to one person, but you could be someone else's, whole world. You gotta find your people. You gotta find your people and you gotta find your community. That's all. It's hard. It can be harder for some than others, but find your people, find your community. Realize my worth, huh? And realize your worth. Thanks, Yokone, for today and for everything. Hee, anytime. Yokone reaches for my head again, but I nimbly move out the way and dodge her hand. Hey, what gives? I don't need my hair any messier, thank you very much. Come on, you used to always love it when we were a kid. That is completely false. You would put me in a headlock just so that you could rub my head because I would try to run away. We both started laughing. I think I should head back. I've got a lot of thinking to do, and I'm worried about Kagurazaka. Go and get him, champ. I'll be around here for a few more days for work. If the opportunity presents itself, make sure to introduce me to her and let me know how everything goes. And please, don't hesitate to rely on me again. Thanks. And make sure to give her a hug. I'm sure she needs it. I'll try to remember. After paying for the food, Yokone gave me a long embrace before leaving for the hotel that she was staying at. I took a deep breath and then head back to my apartment. So this entire time I've been talking to Kagurazaka. I've been unknowingly pushing my identity of Mana without knowing it was hurting her. She says she doesn't blame people for doing that. Of course people are going to think of Mana as someone who's strong, happy, and beautiful. That's the identity that she was striving for and showing on stream. But the problem is that Kagurazaka believes that's just the side that she shows on stream, but she isn't like that in person. Honestly, she's amazing. Even as Kagurazaka, to be able to do the things she does requires her to be a strong person. What is her perception of being strong even? Nobody's flawless. Is that even right for me to say that she's being too hard on herself? I've only scratched the surface of what she's thinking. I don't think I have to completely understand her to know that she shouldn't blame herself for a lot of how she feels. It's like Yokone said, it's inevitable that she'll hurt people, but I don't believe she's hurt people as much as she thinks she has. Well, I can't say anything specific about her past experiences, but at least with me, she shouldn't be torn up about what she said or about involving me. And what can I even do about the problems she faces as a VTuber? I have no experience with that. No, that's the wrong way to think. I shouldn't just think of her as someone that I need to save. I want to help her and be there for her, but I can't just be someone who swoops in and solves all her problems. There's too much to think about. Let's start with the big picture. What am I seeking? I want to continue being involved with Kagurazaka. I still want her to be in my life. I don't know if the reverse is the same, but I guess I'll have to hear it from her after I say what I need to say. But I don't want a relationship where we have to keep skirting around each other about burdening the other. Exactly, who wants that? I want both of us to be able to rely on each other, even if we still feel bad about burdening the other. I want us to be able to do it, exactly, which isn't going to be a sudden change. Both of us don't feel too good about burdening others. I know there's a lot that I still don't know about Kagurazaka, and I know that I have yet to understand her, but I want to understand. I know it's conceited. Stop it. But I want to be involved with her, even if it means she'll have to burden me when I don't even fully understand her. I know we'll struggle. I know we'll misunderstand each other. I know we'll probably always be looking for the right answers, but I want to be involved anyway. Gosh, it actually sounds so conceited when I express it like that. Is it really okay to have a selfish wish like this? Yokone would be smacking me if she knew I was thinking like this. Before I make that kind of selfish request, I think I need to come to terms with my own feelings first. Even now, I'm still head over heels for Kagurazaka, and I feel guilty about those feelings. Not because of Kagurazaka as a person, but because they are for the wrong reason. Those feelings come about when I figured out Kagurazaka was mana. All it took was to have the thought of, I have a chance with someone who I see as valuable to instantly start becoming infatuated. Honestly, it could probably happen to any big VTuber. I don't usually have feelings towards most people I watch, but it's always a thought in the back of my mind that it's nice if I could be involved with this person. If the chance to become someone special to them suddenly appeared, then I think I would end up becoming obsessed just because I want to get validation from that. It really is an unhealthy mindset, and it happened so easily. So the infatuation didn't come about because of love, but because of my own desire for validation. That shouldn't be how a relationship develops. But I can't say for sure that a part of my feelings wasn't already from what I felt about Kagurazaka before finding out. It wasn't an obsession, but it was a warm comfort. I liked being with her. I wanted to know more about her. My feelings are just jumbled mess right now, so I can't say exactly how I feel, and I can't stop myself from feeling this way either. Even if I know it's for the wrong reason, this heartache doesn't go away. And feeling this way just makes me guiltier, that I shouldn't feel this way, but I do. Maybe that's the curse I'll have to live with for the time being, for being so self-centered. Isn't that a reason I should be distancing myself from her? That I'm only going to naturally gravitate towards her and try to gain her favor because I'm always going to want her attention? Do I have any right to try and reach out when I know this is the relationship? Do I have any right to try and reach out when I know that this relationship will partially be built on my own insecurities? Even before I found out that she was mana, didn't I just interact with her mainly because I was lonely? Is that really okay? If I was transparent about everything and she was okay with it, would that make it okay? Isn't that just pushing my own expectations and selfish wishes onto her? Is it even possible for me to form a relationship with her without these selfish motives? Isn't that what I was trying to avoid when I entered college? Was I a hypocrite all along? No, I shouldn't think like that. I have to accept that it's inevitable that I'll have these thoughts and feelings if I interact with her. The best I can do is be aware of this inevitability and try not to let it control my actions. I think I'll have to figure out some more as time passes. Next is Kagurazawa and what she thinks. How can I even help her with her depression and mindset? I haven't even gotten over my own self-hate. I just can't tell her to love herself more. No matter what I tell her, she isn't just going to suddenly shift her mindset. All I can do is tell her the value she has to me and try to support her. Again, I'm just feeling self-important by thinking that. But even if I might not offer much, I still want to do what I can. This is all assuming, of course, that she would even want to continue involving me with her life. I don't blame her if that isn't the case. We can't go back to how we were before. I have no idea what our relationship is going to be like if we start interacting again. I take a deep breath, followed by letting out a big sigh. I don't have all the answers, but I think I know what I want to do now. I pull out my phone and look at the time. It's almost midnight. I'm worried about Kagurazaka and I shouldn't put this off. Is she still awake? I pull out my phone and stare at Kagurazaka's contact. Is it too soon? The longer I wait, the less of a chance there is. I can feel my hand shaking. I take a deep breath and force myself to press the call button. Every consecutive ring goes on for what feels like an eternity. The pressure I feel at this moment is enough to impede my breathing. Just when I felt that I would reach her voicemail, I hear the brief cut of the ringing to indicate that the call has been picked up. I can't hear her. Kagurazaka? Why? Her voice is weak, like it could fade away at any moment. Can we meet? I know it's late, and I know you said we wouldn't be involved with each other anymore, but there are some things I have to say. If after you hear me out and still want to cut ties, then I'm fine with that. I know it's a selfish request, but please. Also, I feel like if you're gonna be like, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say and you just have to hear it and whatever, I feel like it's only equitable to let someone respond or say what they want to say too. And I know there are like more extreme toxic situations where like, you know, that isn't the case. But I feel like in this case, it's not selfish of him to want to say his piece. It's selfish of her to not let him say his piece. Because whether or not she regrets involving him, she did involve him. And I feel like just as much as she has a right to express herself, he should have that same ability to express himself too. Like, she already involved him. The least she could do is let him say his piece, you know? Like, don't involve someone and be like, I don't want to hear your side of things, even though I'm the one that brought you into this. There's only silence. My heart is beating so fast, and I'm sure Kagurazaka can hear it through the phone. Come to the beach. Oh, okay, thanks. I hear the call hang up right after I thank her. I immediately collapse on my bed with a sigh of relief. After taking another deep breath, I dash to my bedroom to splash some water on my face and then head out of my apartment. I find myself back at the same spot where I had been earlier today. It hasn't even been a day, but it feels like it's been weeks since I had last met with her here. I look around to see any signs of her. It's dark, but I'm still able to see that she isn't here yet. I raise my head to look up at the starry sky. Well, it's too late now to be thinking if this is okay. I'm also not confident at all in my ability to get my thoughts across. If it doesn't end up working out, then I guess that's just how it has to be. No, I shouldn't keep thinking negatively. I can't draw any conclusions without seeing what she thinks. The sky really is beautiful tonight, isn't it? I wonder if this is why Kagurazaka chose her VTuber theme to be the starry sky. She did seem to like this spot. Maybe she saw this same sky and decided to become Mana. Or maybe I'm just being romantic because of this sight. The sounds of footsteps interrupt my thoughts. I turn around to see Kagurazaka walking towards me. Oh, she looks very masculine presenting right now. She looks even worse than before. Hey. Thanks for granting me this selfish request of mine. I honestly can't say that what I'm going to say is going to come out coherent or make any sense. You know, I really wish I was the protagonist of some anime or dating sim, like the ones that know exactly what to say to magically fix everything and change anyone's viewpoint. But I'm only me. Sure. I don't have very many answers for you. I can't magically solve your problems. I'm not going to pretend like I can say anything that will convince you to suddenly be happy with yourself and your situation. I can't even begin to imagine what you're going through or have been through in your life. Even if I spend the rest of my life trying, I might not fully understand. But I want to try, despite the inevitable struggle. I know that sounds conceited, but I want to try. Why even try to understand someone like me? It's because I'm Mana? I would be lying if I said that wasn't part of it. To be honest, I fell into a complete obsession with you after finding out. It was because of my own desire for validation and self-worth. I actually completely hate myself for the fact that it happened. You might be disgusted at that, and I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you if you started thinking that I'm only interacting with you because you're a super popular VTuber. But that's just me. That desire for self-worth is just a part of who I am, and I absolutely detest that part of myself. I want to be able to say that I want to be with you, for you, and not feel like I'm worth something just because I'm someone who's valued. But looking at myself, I can't say that. And I know that asking you to accept that might be the most selfish request ever. All I can really say is, I want to keep being with you. I don't want to just be with Mana or Kagurazaka. I want to be with you, who's both Mana and Kagurazaka. What are you even saying? I already said that I'm only interacted with you because of my own personal gain. That could very well be the case, but I think that's okay. It's not like I had great intentions either. I think one of the main reasons I kept interacting with you is because I was lonely. I desperately wanted someone that I could feel like I could connect with. I really did enjoy the time with you and I admire you, but how much of those feelings can I say are just out of desperation? I know that doesn't sound reassuring, but I don't know myself well enough to fully understand these feelings. I can really only say that despite all this uncertainty, I still want to be with you. You've already seen what kind of person I am. All I do is hurt people. You'll just end up being hurt. How are you even going to put up with someone like me? I think that goes both ways. There's no way that we won't end up hurting each other at times, even if we don't mean it. It'll probably be painful at times, but I still want us to be involved with each other anyway. I don't even know if this will be the case, but I want to believe that the happy times we create will be... I don't even know if this will be the case, but I want to believe that the happy times we create will make it all worth it. I don't want to be hurt, and even worse, I don't want to hurt you, but I also feel joy and warmth from being with you. I want a relationship where we can accept that we'll get hurt, where we will struggle, feel lost, and likely always be looking for the right answers. So basically saying what your sister said verbatim. But I want us to be able to do that together, in a relationship where we burden each other. We probably won't feel good about burdening each other, but I still want us to be able to do that anyway. What are you saying? That won't be an even relationship. I'll just be the one burdening you all the time. Or that won't be an even relationship. I'll just be the one burdening you the entire time. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time reading this. I'm a thoroughly messed up person. I'm weak. I hate myself. I'm mean. I'm easily lash out. I always think about things negatively. I always feel lonely. I'm never satisfied with how I am. And you said so yourself that there's so much that you don't understand. How does it make any sense to want to be with someone that you don't even understand? Are you stupid? I guess I am. I truly believe from the bottom of my heart that you're a wonderful person in many ways. And I am a pretty messed up person myself. You're really not. How can you blame yourself for what you felt? You couldn't help it. Meanwhile, look at me. I only have myself to blame. That isn't true. We can probably go back and forth all night at this rate. I clear my throat and take a deep breath. Though I may not offer much, an unreliable, selfish person I may be, please allow me to be involved in your life. How do you know that you won't just leave me once you get over your infatuation and realize what kind of person I am? Oh, how do I know that you won't just leave me once you get over your infatuation? I mean, look at me. Just the fact that I'm saying that is so terrible. No, that's okay. The only thing I can really do to alleviate that doubt is to tell you that I want to be involved with you, including all the good and bad. I want to be able to guarantee that I won't change my mind because of this infatuation. But the truth is that I don't really fully understand myself. I can really only ask you to trust me. What kind of relationship is that? You're just okay with me doubting you? I'm sure you have your own doubts about me. You're just okay with us doubting each other? Yes. What? I don't think we can really avoid that doubt. The only way would be to be able to come to a full understanding of each other, which I don't think is possible. But I want to be involved anyway. I'm a weak, ugly, and broken person. You're okay with that? Yes. You're going to end up getting hurt by being involved with me. You're okay with that? Yes. You're going to end up being burdened with all my baggage. You're going to end up being burdened like hell. You're okay with that? Yep. And you're willing to do all that despite knowing that you don't fully understand me? Yes. Kagurazaka stares at me for a few seconds, then she starts walking towards me. She stops once she's right in front of me, looking directly into my eyes. My social anxiety is telling me to look away, but another part of me is telling me that if I look away now, my resolve would have been for nothing. Would you be willing to accept me even after knowing everything about me? There's a firm determination in Kagurazaka's eyes that I haven't seen before. She knows that she's asking an unreasonable, selfish question, but I can tell how important this question is to her. Yes. Kagurazaka's expression calms and she stares at me for a few seconds. Then I see her break to a smile. You really are an idiot, aren't you? You were right. None of what you said just makes any sense. Do you just secretly want to get hurt? Are you a masochist? A sense of relief washes over me to see a glimpse of her old self return. I guess I am. That's what you'll be signing up for. Well, there are a lot of worse things you could be. You could be a guy who just voluntarily signed up to be involved with me. Boy, do I have news for you. We both managed to laugh, albeit weakly. It's well past midnight at this point. The events of today likely have Kagurazawa just as tired as I am. I guess I have no choice but to accept your request when you put it that way. Excuse me. But before I feel like we can move forward, I need you to listen to my own selfish request. Can you come over to my place tomorrow and listen to what I have to say? I'll tell you. My mindset leading up to becoming a VTuber and all my experiences as Mana up till now. You said you'd be willing to accept me even after knowing everything about me. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you everything. Is she actually going to tell me everything? Please tell me. Thanks. It's probably going to take a while and it's not entirely a pleasant topic, but I've decided to trust you. I don't feel like I can move forward with involving you without you knowing. I understand. Thank you for your trust in me. Heh. I'll message you tomorrow to come over once I'm ready. With that, I'm going to head back now. I'm absolutely exhausted. More so than I usually am. Let me walk you home. It's pretty late. Oh, being a gentleman, aren't we? It's not that far. I'll be fine. I just got here fine, didn't I? I didn't take that into account when I asked her to walk here. I don't really want to be pushy about it if she doesn't want to, but it also doesn't really feel right to just leave her to walk home by herself. Kagurazawa watches as I quietly contemplate to myself. You know what? I'll take you up on your offer. Shoot, I must have been showing how conflicted I was. But I guess it worked out. Thanks. Shouldn't I be the one thanking you? Or maybe you just want to walk with me because you're scared. Sure, let's go with that. Protect me, please. Oh, great, Kagurasaka. Cute. You can call me Makoto. Thank you. Eh? Call me Shouma as well, Makoto. An awkward silence envelops the air. Okay, enough of that. Let's go. Makoto quickly starts walking away in embarrassment, leaving me to catch up to her. Ah, wait. VTuber Connect. I follow behind Makoto as she quietly walks through the dimly lit street. The air is tranquil, with our footsteps being the only sounds that can be heard in the stillness of the night. I'm unsure as to what to say to her. Would it be insensitive to ask about Mana right now? I guess I could ask some basic questions. Makoto? Makoto continues to walk, but I can visibly see her posture shift a little. I guess she isn't used to me calling her by her given name. Yeah? So, the voice you use as Mana, that's still you making that voice, right? It's just a bit hard to believe because it's so different. Makoto is visibly surprised for a moment before smiling. She clears her throat and adjusts her posture. Hee, what are you talking about? Don't I sound the same as always? The voice that leaves Makoto's mouth is distinctly Mana's, down to exact pitch and the way of speaking. The voice isn't too loud, likely as a precaution of being outside, but is clear enough that I wouldn't ever mistake it. Huh? How do you do that? What do you mean? I'm the same old Makoto. Okay, now I'm just weirded out. Don't be weirded out. Just think of this voice when you think of me. Ah! Makoto breaks out into laughter at my visible anguish. Okay, I'll stop. I'm glad we're able to go back to joking around like this despite the events of the past few days. I can tell we're still a bit shaken, but we're trying our best to move forward. Doesn't it get tiring having to change your voice like that? I'm used to it, so not really. I see. Being able to change your voice like that is really impressive. Is it? You might be able to do it yourself if you tried. Yeah, I don't think you want to hear my pitched up voice. Maybe you're right. Forget I said anything then. Makoto smiles and turns to continue walking. There are so many other things I want to ask and am wondering about. Maybe I can wait until after Makoto tells me everything tomorrow. Hey, Shouma? Now it's my turn to feel uncomfortable. It's going to take a bit to get used to her calling me by my given name. This is so uniquely, at least Japanese. Like, we definitely don't have an equivalent to that. Maybe like a pet name, but even then, not really. I can't say that I'm not happy about it, though. Yeah? Thanks for today and for everything. I'm glad things turned out the way they did. Yeah, me too. Well, I guess it could have been a little less bumpy along the way. Heh, that's for sure. I want to thank you too. I've been running away from my problems for a while now, but I think you've given me something worth all the hardships. Oh? I must be worth a lot to you then. We still have a lot more to go through. It's not too late to go back to the easier route. It's definitely an easier route, but I don't think I was ever content with how I was. Not because of VTubers themselves. I do get a certain fulfillment from watching them. They've provided a happiness and hope that I can't even begin to describe. But being able to share special experiences with them is something beautiful on its own. But I was just using them to substitute for what I truly wanted. What I formed with you and what I ended up forming with Mana are two different things. I wouldn't want to give up either. Well, I have some good news for you. Turns out they're the same person, so you get a 2-for-1 deal. Dang, really? I must have hit the jackpot then. But if I'm being serious, I'm really glad to hear you say that. I don't think I would want to give up what I have with you as Makoto or Mana either. Okay, enough with the embarrassing lines. We're almost there. We arrive at the front of Makoto's house. She turns to me. I think I'm going to collapse as soon as I'm inside. I'm pretty sure I aged a few years today. Same here. I can't remember the last time I felt this tired. I kind of feel bad that I made you walk all the way here with me. Nah, don't feel that way. I was the one who wanted to do this. Don't worry, I have enough in me to make it back. Good night. Wait, do you want to stay over for the night? Not for any weird reasons. Just so you don't have to walk back so late. Eh? Can you repeat that? I don't think I heard it correctly. Nope, I'm not saying it again. You heard what I said. No, I shouldn't. I'll just head back. No, really, it's fine. It's already so late. If you're worried about me, I'm completely fine with it. So just do what's best for you and what you want. Well, of course I want to, but I probably shouldn't. Stop making it weird. It just makes more sense to stay here instead of making you walk all the way back when it's so late. And I have a futon you can sleep on in one of the other rooms. Yeah, you're right. It makes the most logical sense. Indeed, you are very correct. Let's go with that. Thanks. Dang it. She looks unamused. Calm down, me. We'll be sleeping in separate rooms. It's not like the thought occurred to me that it might have been in the same room. Alright, stop. Deep breaths. You can't really blame me. I'm still head over heels for her, and she invited me to stay overnight at her place. My heart feels like it's about to explode right now. Maybe I should have just refused. There's no way this is good for my heart. No, I wouldn't I would have beat myself over it if I hadn't taken this opportunity. Maybe that would have been worse. So, are you gonna keep having your internal battle, or are you gonna come in? Sorry, I'll come in now. Lead the way. Makoto leads me to what seems to be a storage room containing only a sparse number of boxes. Wait here, I'll get the futon to roll out. Okay. Makoto leaves the room, leaving me to continue processing what's happening. Calm down, me. Nothing's gonna happen. I'm just staying here in this room by myself for the night because it's late out. Wait, will I even be able to sleep in this situation? I'll probably just collapse right away. I'm so tired. I don't think it'll take long for the adrenaline to run out. Makoto re-enters the room with a rolled up futon, blanket, and pillows in her arms. That is so cute! She hands me the pillow and blanket and rolls out the futon across the floor. The bathroom's down the hall. Okay, I'm gonna go and collapse onto the comfort of my bed. Good night. Oh, good night. Makoto glances at me instead of leaving. Don't tell me you're expecting anything to happen. Huh? Of course not. Maybe you were the one who was expecting something. Regardless of if I wanted something to happen, I'm pretty sure I'm too tired for anything. I need my sleep. Yeah, me too. Good night. Sleep tight. Makoto walks out the room and down the hall to her own room. I immediately collapse on the futon and spread out my body. 2 nights in a row of staying up this late can't be good for my well-being. It probably doesn't help that I'm in an unfamiliar place. I release a big sigh after taking a deep breath. It really has been an eventful 2 days, hasn't it? Thinking back on it, I did say some really embarrassing things. I recall the exact lines that I said at the beach. I immediately cover my face and start rolling around. Did I really say those things? I mean, I'm kind of glad I did since it ended up working out, but it's so embarrassing. Wait, how would Makoto have interpreted it? Was I basically confessing my love to her? I mean, I do have feelings, but I need some more time to understand them. When I said those things today, I wasn't necessarily meaning it in a romantic way, but I did mention that I became obsessed with her. Isn't that pretty much giving it away? It would be weird to ask what she thinks about me or what she considers me to be. Maybe I'm the weird one thinking too hard about these things. I can start to feel my thoughts trail out as my exhaustion starts to set in. Whatever, this will be a problem for next morning, Shouma. I close my eyes and slowly feel my consciousness fade away. VTuber Connect. The light of a new day shines brightly through the windows and pulls me out of my slumber. I feel a sudden sense of panic as soon as I open my eyes in response to the sight of an unfamiliar room. It takes me a second to recall the events of the previous night. Oh yeah, I'm at Makoto's place. It still feels like a dream, everything that's happened. My body does not feel the greatest, that's for sure. What time is it? I pull out my phone to see that it's already past noon. I guess we did get back pretty late. I wonder if Makoto's awake. I stretch out my arms before picking myself up and heading out the room. I take a glance inside Makoto's room after noticing the door was open. Looks like she's already awake. She's probably downstairs. I guess I'll wash up before heading down. I'm greeted by the sight of Makoto sitting on one of the sofas, looking at her phone. She looks up when she notices me walking closer. Oh, you're awake. Sorry, have you been up for a while? Nah, I've only been awake for about 30 minutes. Not enough time for me to wash up and draw on your face while you were asleep. How unfortunate. Maybe you should have set an alarm. Is my sleep worth that amusement? I guess it's another one of life's many difficult decisions. Sure it is. So, what's the plan for today? Were you going to tell me about everything when I woke up? How about we go eat first? I'm kind of want some time to mentally prepare as well. How about this? We can go eat, and then I'll head back to my place so I can have the chance to take a shower and change clothes. Then I can head back here. Alright, sounds like a plan. Makoto sits across from me, her mouth full of pancakes. She eats with some nonchalance as she had when I ate with her in the city. It's still as amusing to see as before. She looks at me after she swallows her current bite. You must have a lot of questions, don't you? Yeah, a ton, but I figured a lot of them might be answered later today. And I didn't think it would be good to bring it up in a public setting. Yeah, a ton, but I figured a lot of them might be answered later today, and I don't think it would be good to bring them up in a public setting. I see. How thoughtful of you. That's true. We can probably wait until later tonight. You really did say some embarrassing things yesterday, didn't you? I almost started choking on my food. I started gulping some water to clear my throat. You're gonna hold that over my head, aren't you? To pretend like you didn't get caught up with the mood yourself. Ah yes, the beautiful starry sky, the beach, talking about wanting me in your life. I almost started choking on my food again. Okay, I'll stop now. You might die from choking at this rate. Yes, please spare me. There's so much to talk about with Makoto, and there's so many things that we have yet to address. Wait, isn't the anniversary stream in 3 days? Should I even bring that up? I'm sure Makoto knows, but still. Hey, is this really okay, us being here and chatting? I feel like there are so many things we have to address, and your anniversary stream is coming up. Heh, you know, I was feeling the exact same way, but for a different reason. The anniversary stream is in 3 days, isn't it? It's true that there are a ton of stuff to be done for that, and that I'm still feeling a ton of anxiety about it. But it'll work out, I think. Before I can commit myself to that, I need to be able to get past this mental and emotional wall before me. I can't move forward with you without telling you what I need to tell you. And moments like these aren't bad. They may be fleeting, but it really lets me take a moment to appreciate things. Yeah, you're right. I guess we won't always have to be trying to tackle some problem. You said you were feeling the same way for a different reason, right? What's the reason? Moments of fleeting happiness like this make me question if it's really okay to feel this way. As for the reason, let's save it for tonight. I have a feeling I know where she's getting at, but I don't want to push it. She's right. We can wait until tonight and enjoy the current moment of peace. Is she gonna graduate? Alright. Oh yeah, I do remember you mentioning that you wish for people to achieve true happiness in one of your talks. Oh yeah, I did mention that in my stream a few days ago, didn't I? What exactly did you mean by true happiness? Well, it's not really something that's clearly defined. It's just that when some people define happiness, they think of it as a state where there's a lack of sadness or pain, or they think of it as merely being satisfied with a neutral state. I guess it all depends on the person, but I want to truly say that I am a happy person, where I can smile and laugh without forcing it and not have to worry about everything else. I see. Would you consider this moment to be true happiness? You mentioned that this was a moment of happiness. That's the thing. It's only ephemeral. I still wouldn't consider myself a happy person, though. I mean, do you need to become a happy person or just be a person that can accept when happiness comes and goes, you know? It's all really vague, isn't it? Obviously, I can't expect to always be happy. Yeah, exactly. And maybe that true happiness is built on moments like these. But even right now, I feel like I'm just running away from sadness and pain. So, would you consider it to be a state where there's a lack of sadness and pain? Well, I know it's impossible to be completely free of those things. You don't sound like you do, though. Maybe it's a state where there isn't that much of it. Or maybe it's a state where I'm able to consider myself a happy person in spite of those things. Is that too idealistic? Not at all. Isn't that a state that a lot of people are in? Well, I don't know if I can ever tell for sure. They might just be showing their happiness outwardly while they internalize their pain. That's true. So people inevitably go through both moments of happiness and pain. So you're talking about a state where people can focus on happiness and not feel like they're running away from pain or sadness. Yeah, I think that's right. It would be nice if everyone could achieve that. You did wish that for all your viewers. I'm sure that you were able to reach people with that. I for sure appreciated it when I heard it. Thanks. But it goes both ways, doesn't it? I'm sure everyone else wishes that for you as well. You're always looking out for us, and you might know this already, but I want you to know that we wish the best for you as well. Right? She excludes herself out of that. Thanks, I mean it. I don't think I'm deserving of that. You literally are just said you're striving for it, but you're also like, but I don't deserve it? Like, I can't. But it makes me happy hearing it. Come on, nobody thinks you're undeserving of that. Except for her. Are you finished with your food? Oh, I am. Do you want to pay and get going? Yeah, let's go. After we paid for the food, we agreed to meet at her place in around 2 hours. Excuse me. After saying bye to Makoto, I headed home to take a shower and change clothes. Wow, we're at 5 hours and 15 minutes. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be 3 hours. But I'm pretty sure I did not tangent for 2 hours. Like, I couldn't have. I found myself once again at the gate of Makoto's place. It's a familiar sight at this point, but there's a different air to this visit. There's a heaviness in my chest as I look at the window to Makoto's room. Makoto said she would tell me everything, but I'm not exactly sure how I should be feeling. Maybe I'm stupid for feeling this way. Makoto had a kind of resolve much stronger than me to decide to tell me anything. While I'm here feeling like I'm not even sure if I'm ready to hear anything. Well, here goes. I take a deep breath and press the doorbell to Makoto's house. After 30 seconds, Makoto comes out the front door. I feel like they keep saying her name so much, and I feel like, at least in English, we use pronouns so much more. I feel like I'm saying her name every 5 seconds when usually it's like, if it's the same person you're talking about, we just say she comes out the door at her house. Like, it seems like they're overusing her name, you know? But that could just be like a language thing. Hey, come in. Let's head into my room. Only nod as I notice her uneasiness. Her room is a familiar sight with nothing significantly different from the last time I had been here. She takes a seat at her bed, leaving me to sit on the chair she uses at her desk. She doesn't say anything, but I can tell that she's breathing heavily. She opens her mouth to say something, but nothing comes out. I notice that she's visibly shaking. Hey, you don't have to force yourself. No, I need to do this. Sorry, just give me a second. She takes a deep breath. Can I ask you to hear me out completely before saying anything or asking any questions? Okay. Thanks. Where do I even start? Mood has changed. Like I mentioned before, I've always hated myself, even before becoming a VTuber. I've always been the type of person to hurt people because of how I am. I'm not good at expressing my feelings, so I lead people to think that I don't care about them or that I might not like them, even if that's not true. I've always admired the people who can wear their heart on their sleeve and effortlessly build a positive connection with others, whereas someone like me will just give others the wrong idea. But actually, is it even the wrong idea? I wouldn't consider myself a nice person. It's easy for me to fall into the trap of condemning people for taking actions I perceive as wrong or ignorant. I don't want to think like that. I want to be able to accept people and believe in their capacity for good. But it's not uncommon for me to just straight up tell someone off if I think they're wrong about something important. If I was a better person, I would say it differently, or maybe I wouldn't say anything at all. But I'm not that kind of person. I've hurt a lot of people by doing that. I don't think my family situation helped my mindset at a young age either. My parents divorced when I was in middle school. I saw a lot of bad fights prior to that, and they weren't that uncommon after the fact, since I was going back and forth between them for a while. It wasn't hard to think that I was at fault for this situation, being an only child. I wouldn't say I have the best relationship with either of them. I'm not saying I hate them. I still love them both and I only wish the best for them, but I have my differences with both of them. They're both strong-minded, and they differ from each other in what they want out of my life, which is one of the reasons why they fought. Maybe I could have prevented it if I had been more self-aware back then. All I knew was that I desperately wanted to keep both of them, so I tried my best to listen to them. But my efforts ended up being for nothing. They divorced anyway. For a while, I still tried to cater towards both their demands, even if they differed from what I wanted to do. At some point, I just had enough. I honestly don't even know what's best for myself, but I knew what my parents wanted for me wasn't what I was looking for. It wasn't uncommon for me to get in fights with my parents throughout high school. You can probably see why I'm living here alone, don't you? I'm an awful daughter, aren't I? I'm willing to break my family's heart for my own sake. That's something I was desperate to avoid, no matter what. But I'm a selfish person. But despite the selfishness I've shown, my parents have never abandoned me. They come to reach out and care for me in their own ways. Why do they continue to keep a daughter like me around? All I do is fight with them when I see them. A lot of times I think to myself, what if I was never in the picture in the first place? Would they have found happiness instead? I knew I wanted to change something, but it's not like I can suddenly become a better person all of a sudden. That's when I was exposed to VTubers, when they start taking off in popularity. At first, I didn't know why there were so many people that started watching these VTubers. But as I started watching them myself, I think I understood. I saw these amazing people able to bring happiness and inspiration to so many people. Just by expressing a part of themselves, they were able to form such unique, profound connections with their viewers. I knew that this was something I wanted to try. The idea that I could reinvent myself and try to become the person I wanted to be and share the things I love just appealed to me. The only thing about a year, but I get nostalgic thinking back to my beginnings as Mana. Before I even had the idea of Mana, I did a ton of research and brushed up on my skills. I applied to a bunch of agencies and got rejected at every single one. Eventually, the idea of Mana came to me one night, and I decided to try and make it as an indie VTuber. I mean, yeah, you can't just be like, agency, I have no experience, I want to be a VTuber. That's not how that works. I wanted to ultimately be responsible for my own success as a VTuber. I spent a lot of time and resources coming up with the design of Mana and having it created. Eventually, I debuted. I don't think there were more than 5 viewers at any given point in the stream, but I was still happy. I was starting out, I was just happy that anyone would come to watch. I would recognize a few people that would stop by and feel bad if they stopped showing up. If I found them on another stream instead, then that would hurt me even more, but still. It was nice. I felt like I was starting a new life, almost. Every stream... Also, how would you catch them at another stream? Wouldn't you be streaming? Every stream was scuffed, and there were a ton of things I didn't know about. I was working tirelessly every day, balancing school and improving myself for streams that only a few people would see, but it was fun. For the first time in my life, I felt like I was choosing who I wanted to be and expressing the self I wanted to show. There was a friend I made not soon after I debuted. She was another VTuber that debuted around the same time I did. Given that we were both in similar situations and that we just ended up clicking immediately, it didn't take long for us to become pretty close. She's the type of person to wear her heart on her sleeve. She was energetic, kind, positive, and an unbelievably hard worker. In a lot of ways, I looked up to her. I was so blessed to have a person like her in my life. Honestly, a big reason why I think back fondly on the times I started out, despite all the hardship, was because of her. We would collab a lot, sometimes doing some really dumb things like singing meme songs. Other times, we would share the joy of beating a really difficult game together. We laughed a lot, struggled together, complained to each other about things, talked about mundane topics, discussed life. It was a happy moment in my life that I took for granted, not realizing how fleeting those kinds of moments can be. We both worked hard every day, and she was more talented than me in a lot of ways. Even if I was a viewer, I wouldn't even think about watching my streams over hers. But for some reason, I started growing quickly in viewership while she didn't. At first, it wasn't really an issue. Why would it be? One of us growing, and we should be happy about that, shouldn't we? Well, I continued to grow. I didn't know why more people were coming to watch me. I still don't know. My friend continued to support me like she had always done, as positive and bright as the sun. But I started feeling guilty. Starting out, we had always talked about how we wanted to grow and reach as many people as possible. Why was I the one who was growing and not her, when she was so much better than me in every way? She still continued to treat me with the same kindness that she always had as I continued to grow. She never complained and never said anything negative to me about it, but I knew that deep down it must have been affecting her. Our conversations about viewership or growth became awkward. I noticed that she started working twice as hard, planning big events, streaming more often, trying to put out more content and be more engaged, but none of her efforts were ever rewarded. It hurt so much to see her barely grow despite the effort that she put in. I started becoming hyper fixated on viewership numbers, even though I knew I shouldn't. At first, I would try my best to try and promote her on my own stream, but it ended up making things worse. After a certain point, it just seemed like I was desperately trying to promote her. She ended up getting backlash that she was just trying to piggyback off my own popularity. And part of why I was doing it was out of pity. I wanted to try to help her, but I wasn't actually thinking about how she felt. Would you really feel fulfilled if someone just handed you viewers because they felt bad for you? The worst part about it all is that she never condemned me for anything. She still wanted to continue being my friend. She was precious to me, and I didn't ever want to give up the friendship we had. But how could I keep going knowing that I was just hurting her just by existing? Every day I would feel more and more guilty. Why was it me and not her? I so conceited and self-important to think that my growth would cause her to hurt. Yeah, that is kind of like, if she is like legit not treating you different, not asking for, like, that was all you, not her. It's so conceited and self-important to think that my growth would cause her to hurt, but I could tell that it affected her. If I was in her position, I would feel jealousy, even though I knew that she was much more amazing than I am. Yeah, but that's you. Like, if she never showed signs of jealousy or showed signs of wanting pity, then why did you force that on her? I don't blame her if she started hating me. It would hurt me so much to see her smile and be kind to me. I would hurt her regardless of my actions on or off stream. It was my existence that was the problem. I started to keep my distance, and even though I loved her more than anything, maybe it was because I loved her that I felt like it was better if she didn't have to see me. Eventually, we drifted apart. You drifted away. Now, every time I see any of her content, I feel an overwhelming sense of guilt. Maybe this is my punishment for my selfishness. I'm sure she hates me. If she never said it, she probably doesn't. I'm someone who always relied on her and burdened her with my own troubles. She'd always be there for me, supporting me. And what did I end up doing to her in return? I only ended up hurting her. Yeah, you copped out. I know you probably have wondered why I don't collab with other VTubers as Mana. It's been brought up on stream a couple of times as well. I always gave a vague answer on stream, but if you're wondering what the real reason was, it was because of this. But it's like, you already did as Vana. It's not like you never did. I don't want to go through the same situation again where I just end up hurting the other person. I mean, it was also because as I started to get bigger, I would get approached more often and I didn't know what people's intentions were. Isn't that a terrible mindset? No, it's a very normal mindset to have when you're a popular person. That I might automatically assume that these people might just be wanting to interact with me to try and climb socially. No, that's very normal. Isn't it enough to try and make friends? But I couldn't think like that after what had happened. Especially because you tried to use your popularity to help someone who did not ask for it. And who was your friend before you were even popular. Like, she literally did do all this to herself. I mean, she truly did. The responsibilities I had started getting more frequent and more significant. Suddenly, I was having to present myself in front of hundreds and eventually thousands of people. My chat culture went from cozy and I could recognize everyone to an amalgamation of names that I couldn't put a personality to. I could no longer keep up with trying to satisfy everyone. It was impossible for me to read every message and address every problem. Yeah. As I got bigger, negative impressions of me became more common. I used to always check out people's impressions of me on social media, but I stopped. People started DMing me more frequently, many times with the intention to try and get closer to me for shallow or dubious reasons. I mean, did they say that? Or are you still assuming that? Sometimes I would even get straight confessions from people I'd never met. I don't know how to respond to that. You don't. I started having to really watch what I say, both on stream and on social media. I mean, all the time. Anything even slightly negative or controversial could be spun into something that would cause backlash. Expectations grew as my popularity rose. Suddenly, I was juggling multiple different commitments and projects. I started struggling to meet deadlines. I mean, but what deadlines? Like, you're an indie VTuber. Like, you set your own deadlines, do you not? So I poured all the time I had to try to meet what was expected of me. I stopped having time to enjoy my passions in my own time, like playing video games. This was on top of attending classes. At some point, my mom also got hospitalized for a short while. It wasn't for anything life-threatening, but it still caused me a lot of grief in the time where I was already feeling overwhelmed. I guess God really wanted to punish me. I was really not okay during that time. I had no idea life could be like that. I wasn't ready for any of it, not mentally, physically, or emotionally. Yeah, some people really don't handle popularity well. VTubing was originally a way for me to escape the pains of the real world, but it ended up adding on to what was already weighing me down. But it didn't only hurt me, otherwise I wouldn't have kept doing it. A big part of what kept me going was the joy I felt when I could be myself on stream and connect with my community. You just keep saying that you can't be yourself, though. I continued to chase after that, despite all the hardships that came with it. It was the only hope I saw in a world devoid of hope. That joy also led me to want to become that hope for others. Any one of my viewers could also be someone going through a difficult time. If I could be that person that they're able to find a place of comfort in despite their circumstances, that would mean my life had purpose. Okay, but when people pointed that out that you became that person, you shut them down. I don't understand the disassociation here. So I kept smiling on stream. I kept trying to be that bright, positive person I strive to be. Like, you literally just said you used it to be yourself, but then you weren't yourself at any point. Like, eventually, that's the identity that Mana became known as. Romana. I must have done a good job then, and I think most people would tell me that I can be happy and satisfied about that. But that's all I could do, keep that image up only on stream. Off stream, I was absolutely miserable. I didn't smile, I wasn't positive, I would never say that I was a happy person. There were so many times where I felt so tired of everything. I would find myself unable to pull myself out of bed, despite the enormous amount of work that still had to be done. That all ended up accumulating in what's been leading up to my anniversary stream. I was desperate to find an answer, but I think I knew the real answer all along. I'm just getting what I deserve. It's my punishment for being selfish and continuously hurting others. It seems to me you only said you hurt like one person and maybe your parents. Like, I'm just saying, if she makes it seem like she like literally hurt like a slew of people when it was like one person. It's my punishment for lying and deceiving everybody. I can never truly be the strong, kind, and happy person that I want to be. Instead, all I do is hurt others by existing. Makoto's voice goes weak and she looks away. If all I do is hurt people, just the fact that I don't know. This level of dissociation is like wild to me. It's truly wild. And if the only value I bring is built on a bed of lies, maybe it would have been better if I never existed. What? If I had never been born, my parents wouldn't have fought over me and divorced. I mean, you also didn't bring yourself into the world, BT dubs. If I had never been there to start VTubing, my friend never would have gotten hurt. I mean, maybe not by you, but she's definitely hurt by other people. Like, it's not, if I hadn't selfishly gotten you involved, you wouldn't have to be burdened with such a selfish, worthless person. Everyone has every right to hate me. But why? Why does no one express their hate for me? Why does everyone keep showing me their kindness? You, my parents, my friend, my viewers, why do you all keep showing me such kindness? If you all just hated me like I deserved, I could disappear from this world in peace. Tears start swarming in Makoto's eyes. I'm unable to sit still anymore. Without thinking if it's the right thing, I pull Makoto into a tight embrace. Please don't say that. You're not someone who deserves to be hated. Please, don't blame yourself for those things. Even now, someone like me, Shouma, do I really deserve to be happy? Tears starts rolling down Makoto's face. I pull her closer, not knowing if it's the right thing to do. Nah, your sister was right. She just needs a hug. And a therapist. And maybe some antidepressants. And maybe she should just focus on school. My eyes start to form tears. Of course you deserve to be happy. I refuse to believe that there isn't happiness for you in this world. If every greater power is preventing you from attaining that, then I'll fight with you. I hope you find that happiness that you deserve. So please, don't say that you want to disappear. I don't want that. I want you here. I don't know how else to put it. Is this really okay? I only mess things up. I just keep hurting people. I can feel Makoto's arms tighten around my back. If this is wrong, then I want to be wrong. If it's wrong for you to achieve happiness, then let's be wrong together. Please don't try to shoulder this burden by yourself anymore. You've already been through so much. It must have been so hard. But you're not alone, even if it's a little bit. Please let me share some of that burden with you right now. Shouma. The last of Makoto's restraint breaks and the sound of her sobbing fills my ears. I'm unable to hold back my own tears as I hold Makoto even tighter. I don't know if I said the right things. I don't know how we should approach the future. All I know is that right now and going forward, I want to be here for Makoto. I don't want her to ever have to shoulder so many burdens alone. Even if this is the only thing I can do in my power for her, I want to be here for her.